disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lomito! You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Welcome everybody to another boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. As your good friend Mr. BDA, flying solo for the moment. Well, grudge matches sometimes can indeed be fun. It just depends on the styles, and you gotta factor in that neither guy is in his 40s, and you still got something that could be potentially explosive, and that's what we had between Kell Brook and Amir. But before we talk about that, and before we open up the phone lines, which we will be doing within the next half hour, I believe. Oh, we'll be opening up StreamYard as well for the UK population, so they can call in and let us know what they thought about this fight. But before we get to all of that, fellas, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Don't forget you can join us via the BDA membership program, or you can send us a couple of shekels your way during the super chat, or via the super chat rather. Don't forget to check us out on Spreaker, iTunes, and Spotify. All right, fellas, spread the BDA gospel. Let's give a shout out to everybody out there in BDA land, the chat. We got S. Gonzalez. Shout out to S. Gonzalez's can is all talk, no chin. Shout out to Redman, Angry Brit, Rapax Trucking Company. Shout out to Rapax, Self Law, Jonathan Finch, Andres Hernandez, Black Lomachenko, Norman Louis, K-Not, that's not KC Boxing, Self Law, Cheddar Bro, Iceman in the house as well, Mike Shinoda, Ignorant Boxing, Manir Khan, Kid Top Skull, Team Batman Boxing, Christopher Roman, The Fighter Spirit, who says rigged, Toti Kidos, aka Soothsayer. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Thank you for joining us, and many more people to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Well, I gotta tell you, I hate to spoil it for anybody out there, but if you haven't been paying attention, and if you don't want to pay attention to the fights that took place earlier this evening, or actually the Linares fight was in the afternoon. Well, let's get to the big one here. Kell Brook punishes Amir Khan, stops him in the 6th round. The grudge match is over. There will be no rematch, and because what was the point, right? My goodness gracious, that was a bad. In almost every round, Khan got the crap beat out of him. And it's interesting, people in the Discord, first of all, people were saying during the build-up to this fight, it's two guys past their prime, they're not interested. Well, you should have looked at the Discord before the fight. It was lit up. It was very active. People love a fight. Listen, we're boxing degenerates. We can talk all we want about, this fight sucks, that fight sucks. But when it comes down to it, on the night or evening, a couple minutes beforehand, you start getting the jitters and you go, let's go. And that's what happened. And it was it was a one-sided fight, but man, he was entertaining for some reason. We'll talk more about that as we go along. Don't forget, we're going to be opening up the phone lines in a couple of minutes, as well as a StreamYard. Before we get to do that, let me just invite a couple of people here, start cooking with a little oil, and we'll see what happens. Real quick, hold on a second. Let me call. It's my right to call, isn't it? Give me 2 seconds here, fellas. All right, calling people here. What did you guys think of the fight, by the way? Who were you rooting for? That's what I'm interested in. Were you rooting for Khan? Were you rooting for Brook? And if so, why? I'm interested in that. Why not? Hold on a second. All right, create group. All right, Gonzalo, you there?
Yeah, what's up, Mr. BDA? How you doing?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing all right.
All right. Well, listen, good to hear, man. Good to hear from you. Did you watch the fight?
Yeah.
What'd you think
I
of
watched
it?
it? It was pretty good. It was entertaining. I mean, one-sided, like you mentioned. It's early here, so the fight card started like 2 a.m, but I caught it like around 6 a.m. here, about an hour ago. It was pretty good. One-sided. Kell Brook looked good. It's hard to tell how he would look against a different opponent. It's kind of a shame that, a fighter can look so good at 149, but at 147, usually like he's drained. He doesn't look as well as he did today, but there is no weight class at 149. You're either 47 or 54. You're competing for like a world title. So I mean, he looked good at 49, but I don't think that anybody's gonna give him a catch weight. If you're competing for a title, like I mentioned. So he did all right. We have to see if he's gonna get another opportunity. Most likely he'll fight Conor Ben. But yeah, it was a decent scrap. He was in control, punches on the fly, and he was able to track down Khan because Bomac told him to move around, and as long as Khan could move, stay fleet of foot and jab, that he would be winning. He kind of had success like that, but his legs weren't there to like move as fleet-footed as he's needed to. He looked a little like old, so that's why Kell Brook punching on the fly was able to track him down and follow up and hurt him, and just stay on top of him to the point where he didn't like respect him.
He didn't respect him. Yeah. That's the thing, yeah. And it's interesting, Gonzalo. Khan, I mean, we always knew that the speed had always been his strong point. That's what allowed him to win so many fights. That and his footwork, firing off combos, like you said, on the move. Now, though, I mean, he's got a bad combination of features at this stage in his career because he never had the greatest chin in the world. And on top of that, he's getting slower now. So that's just a bad combination right off the bat. And he's finding a guy in Brook who he slowed down as well, but he can still crack. And he was putting that timing together, whatever timing he had left, and it was just over for Khan as soon as he got hurt from the first round on. I gotta tell you, Gonzalo, I was rooting for Brook because of Khan, the amount of talking he was doing, the fact that he asked for a catch weight and a rehydration clause, and then there were some hijinks with the gloves right before the fight. So it was just, I don't know, it was I liked seeing Brook break him down, but now Brook, like you said, what's next for him? He probably thinks, "Hey, I'm back," because he beat Khan. But what about you? Who are you rooting for?
Neither guy, to tell you the truth, but I just thought that Kell Brook would win. And for me, I like his fighting style. He's a good fighter. It's just a shame that when he fought Crawford, he got stunned with that one punch, and it was all because he was damaged goods coming off the Golovkin when we would have never really we don't know at this point what would have happened if he wouldn't have not taken that fight and gone in a different route, possibly fighting at 54 instead of 60, where his career would have ended up. But now pretty much it's over. This was just like a grudge match, not at the highest level. So I mean, can he bounce back and do other things in the sport? Who knows? No, but I do like Kell Brook's fighting style. He punches on the fly, like he's sudden. He's also fast, but he just he'll follow you and just let his hands go. And if he lands one, he'll probably land another, and he'll stay on top of you. So I mean, yeah, I like his style.
I gotta tell you, I was surprised at how often he was able to make Khan miss with his shots. I mean, either Khan got slower or Brook. I mean, Brook always had strong defense. He was not always the easiest guy to hit. But in this fight, he was making Khan miss a lot. Khan was flurrying and very, it was scarcely was he landing. So, man, Brook, I'm telling you, he's probably feeling his oats right now. He's probably thinking, yeah, I still got a little bit of my physical talent left. And on top of that, I'm experienced. Therefore, I'm better than ever. I'm pretty sure that's what he's feeling right now, Gonzalo. He's feeling that high from that stoppage victory, especially against his nemesis. And right now, he's probably thinking, yep, I'm back, baby. Who can stop me? Give me everybody. Give me Charlo. Give me Tony Harrison. Give me Castaño. Give him all to me. I can take him. His confidence is probably sky high at this point. Shout out to... Hold on a second. Who we got here? Shout out to Kenshiro for his contribution with the super chat. And he says, Khan was doing the halal chicken dance all night. Halal chicken. Well, first of all, chicken. Oh, yeah, chicken. Anything that's alive is halal, right? It's not just... Well, first of all, they can eat pork. So shout out to Kenshiro for his contribution. Don't forget, fellas, we're going to be opening up the phone lines and the StreamYard so that within the next half hour so that people from the UK can call in. We got Recognize dropping by. Recognize, thank you for being here, man. And what did you think of the fight?
I loved it. It was a slaughter. You know, it was just a one-sided beatdown. I'm happy that it happened. I feel like justice was served. I think what you just witnessed was somebody obviously trying to fix the fight in their favor, and it just blew up in their face. And what I mean by fixing the fight, you don't change a man's gloves last minute, and besides, and the other stuff. But besides that, I mean, it was a sweet victory. I've never been a huge fan of Brook or Khan, but definitely I like Brook way much more than I liked Khan, especially with the antics that he tried to pull. And me, I always go for the underdog. To see him fuck him up the way he did, that was pretty nice. I had a good time watching that fight.
I gotta tell you, man, I did too as well. I was rooting for Brook, even though I've never been the biggest fan of his, like you said, but just like all the shenanigans outside the ring from Khan, like I said, the gloves at the last minute, catch weight, rehydration clause. I think that the catch weight was demanded. I'm not sure about that one. So, but worst case scenario, it's two things: the trash talking he was doing, and then just to see him getting battered in almost every round, it was something to behold. The other thing is, recognize hold on a second, real quick. Shout out to Amak PvP for his contribution with the super chat. He says, I picked Brook stopping Khan mid-fight. You can change trainers, but not your bad habits. 21922, rest in peace, Khan. Yeah, shout out to Amak PvP for his contribution, man. I do believe he's right. I think if Khan doesn't retire, it's interesting. Khan and Jorge Linares on the same day. Two guys incredibly skilled, talented, blessed with those physical gifts, but also cursed with bad endurance, man. Those guys can either, in Khan's case, he can't take a punch, and in Linares' case, he just fades down the stretch and his face falls apart and so on and so forth. So I recognize I was going to say that Brook probably thinks he can still go on with his career right now, can't he? In other words, he thinks he's better than ever, just based off of this win.
Yeah, I mean, look, these type of you got to be that way, right? As a fighter that competes at that level, it's you gotta go in there thinking you can win these fights. It serves you nothing to start thinking that you're gonna lose the fight. Okay, it doesn't do anything. At least if you get beat up, you went in there thinking you were gonna win. But if you go in there like never thinking to yourself, I don't really think I have a shot. You start thinking about what's your realistic shot. You're wasting your time. So of course now he gets a win. He always knew he can bust Collins. That could have backfired on him. He could have got caught with something he doesn't see coming, and it's not able to recover in time. So anything could have happened. But after that, I can't see him saying, "Well, I don't think I could beat anybody else." Of course, because he's a fighter, because he's reached those type of level. Once you're a fighter, anybody who's a fighter, if you really talk to them, the confidence that they have is like off the charts to the normal person. They're like, yeah, I'm going in there, I'm gonna bust his ass. Oh, what if he beats you? All right, then he beats me, but I'm going in there to fuck him up.
Absolutely,
so of course he's gonna think he could keep fighting.
Yeah, but in a way, this is what's good and bad about fighters is that they have the utmost of confidence in themselves, but at the same time, that's also a problem because the older they get, they think to themselves, well, wait a minute, people used to say that I couldn't do this. Now they're telling me to retire because I'm old. Well, I'm going to prove them wrong again because I've done it before in the past. But there's only so many times you can do that before Father Time catches up to you and pulls you down. You know,
it will.
to reality.
It will, BJ. And he will. But right now, he's feeling himself. He just beat up a dude he doesn't like. In his mind, this dude was a fraud. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And he proved it.
You're right, man. And can I ask you guys something too? Because people were commenting in the Discord about how Khan looked nervous before as he was walking in. First of all, where was his dressing room? On the other side of the street? I mean, the guy walked like 2 kilometers before he got into the ring. And some people were saying he looked nervous, and he did look a little nervous. Like he was breathing hard, he was taking deep breaths. I mean, did you guys think he knew before the fight? Oh shit, I gotta. Because I mean, why else would he ask for all those things, right? Before the fight, the gloves, the catch weight. Do you guys think he was confident going into this fight?
That was, BJ, real quick. That was disgusting display. Like, boxing's a sport that always gets accused of fixing fights. You would think that they would have some type of fucking awareness to, like, don't let this happen in public, right? Like, at least don't do that. And what do we see? We see a dude changing his gloves inside the ring. Okay, and I don't even know if I've ever seen that on the request of another fighter, right? Mm-hmm. Not on the request of the fighter himself, right? So that was disgusting. Like, for the boxing heads that want to prove that the sport is not fixed, that was a terrible job. That was terrible. And anybody in that camp has to be honest and say that was terrible.
Yeah, that was bizarre, man. Oh, go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, the times I've seen Kell Brook fight, he starts out fast. He doesn't wait for no study rounds. He just off the gate, he's just punching. And I mentioned, and you guys know this, he's sudden with the attack. He puts his combinations together, and he just starts punching. And maybe that, him being the bigger guy, got kind of a little nervous, and he realized, no, this guy's gonna come to try and knock my head off. And he had some success doing that. And obviously, he's kind of chinny, and he's older now, and he just got worn down. And maybe he just knew in his heart of hearts that he was gonna get beat tonight.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you too, because we all know Khan's chin. I mean, I think they said he'd been dropped 12 times throughout his career, which wouldn't surprise me. The amount of, Garcia, even before he lost to that Colombian dude, his first loss, he'd already gotten dropped, I think, 2 times. So my question to you fellas is, does that when a guy gets knocked down that many times, even though he has a lot of confidence like Khan does, doesn't that affect him a little bit going into a fight, especially when he's fighting a guy like Brook who he knows can punch? Like, do you think he actually believed in his heart of hearts that he could win this fight?
You're talking about Khan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, I'm sure when he started getting buzzed, he's a professional, right? I'm sure when he started getting buzzed, he knew he was in trouble, right? Like, he won't, in his moment of, like, truth, he's not going to deny that. He wouldn't deny that. You could see it in his face. It's pointless. He knew, like, oh, shit. My worst enemy is about to knock me out. And trust me when I tell you that, if you don't think that plays into it, you never fought, you don't know what it's like to be emotional about a certain individual, you don't know nothing. So that tells me that, honestly, I don't even want to hear your opinion when it comes to boxing.
No, you're talking about me.
Period. No. Anybody
I'm kidding,
don't understand what was happening to Brook was a panic attack. Okay?
To Khan, you mean, to Khan.
Excuse me, Khan, yeah. It would have happened to Brook too if it was the other way around.
Sure.
What was happening to Khan was a mental breakdown. His worst nightmare was about to come to fruition, which was Brook, a guy he despises more than anything, hometown, same country guys, so there's a little bit more, the hate is a little bit more. And he's like, shit, he's going to knock me the fuck out. But don't get me wrong, he's trying to fight. He absolutely is trying to fight. Even as disgusting as I think the little tactics that he tried, in his mind, he wasn't going to quit. He was going to see if he can find a moment where Brook maybe tires or whatever, gets hurt. Mm-hmm. And if he would have got Brook hurt, he would have went for it. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
There was one punch that I saw, I recognize BDA, that Khan landed. He didn't, I mean, obviously, Kell Brook didn't fade, but he felt it. And I thought, man, he looks like he's slipping a little bit. And I mean by slipping, like he's fading away, kind of like he did against Crawford. But that's just me recognizing the little things, where I did see a little bit of that, that he kind of froze, But he didn't fall, or, he didn't fade away like he did against what's his name, Crawford. Yeah, but he just couldn't follow it up. He was fighting scared, couldn't get his legs under him to, punch with more authority. And that, Brook got him, and it's true what they say, when you start smiling, he had that grin, that you're feeling something, and that's what was happening. He was grimacing from ear to ear, and it's true what they say.
Yeah, he looked unhinged. Is how I would describe it.
That awkward smile, right?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you saw Khan smiled when he got hurt? Right,
well,
you never saw that. That's oh shit, my worst enemy is about to fucking beat the shit out of me in front of everybody.
Yeah, in front of him, it seemed like the crowd was on his side because when Brook would land, there was an audible gasp. But then when Khan would land, there would be cheers. So I think the crowd was on Khan's side, and that's gotta be bad, man. When you get the shit kicked out of you in front of your fans, I mean that's an extra layer.
Not only that, when he was walking into the ring, he looked nervous, bro.
Yeah,
he had that nervous energy. He didn't look too confident. I knew it was over after the first round. I pretty much I already picked Brook to beat him and stop him. But after that, I was like, dude, he's already getting shaken up. Unless he makes something drastically happen, he's gonna get walked down and knocked out.
Well, the other interesting aspect of this fight was that Khan hooked up with Bomac, in essence Crawford's team. Yeah. And I always, looking back at Khan now, and I'm talking as if he's retired, because I think he, if he wants to keep competing, that's on him. But I think at that world-class level, I mean, how many more stoppages does this guy want on his record? Or stoppage losses, I should say. But the fact that he hooked up with Crawford's team, remember, this guy had another trainer when he started out his career. Then after his first loss, he moves on with Freire Roach. He has a good string of victories with Roach, then he switches to Virgil Hunter. Then with Virgil Hunter, I think he switched again. Maybe I'm wrong, but the fact that then he switched with Crawford, it reminds me of Oscar De La Hoya, that after every time he would have a bad performance or a loss, well, let's switch trainers, as if that's going to solve it. I mean, it seems like he never really got a grip on his style.
That's true. I don't think he ever did. I mean, look, he's got fast hands. We know that. What is he exactly? Are you an in and out fighter? You bounce off the back foot sometimes, and you leap in with the front. What is it that you do exactly? I've never really can explain his style. He fights over with his chin over the shoulder. He does that little flex move where with his lead hand, and it's like, that's it. That's who Khan is. His defense has definitely never been that great. His offense is good, but even with the offense, there's no real identity there.
Yeah, he was all speed, and now
all speed. Yep, all speed. Everything is speed.
And like Andre Ward said, when I've mentioned this before, you guys know this. Like the times that he goes for the kill, it's you got to realize that something's coming back when you punch. So it can't just be all speed, especially if you don't have a chin, because you can go in there and you throw punches thinking I'm gonna overwhelm my opponent, but the opponent's gonna fire back in between your shots. He's gonna time you, whatnot, and now that the chin is gone and the legs are not really there, I mean, yeah, it's just all speed.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, it's all mediocre speed now. Because, and you know what, I also found it funny how, well, not funny, but interesting how Bomac would tell him, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. It's like, he can't do it anymore, man. He was getting clipped when he was young. Imagine now, he's slower and even more damaged.
Look, how much respect do you have for a guy that, like Bomac, I'm sorry, but like he's not. He's a terrible example. He's out of shape. He's like, I don't see him as a good trainer, bro. He might have great chemistry with Crawford, where Terrence basically just needs him as a motivational speaker. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows, he understands. But from knowing him for a long time, but if I'm an outsider, I'm not looking at him as a great trainer. I would have never looked at him as that and say, man, I like what he's doing with Crawford. No. So, and by the way, how cringe was ESPN showing highlights of Terrence Crawford beating both of them up?
Oh, but yeah, even Crawford's not with.
What the fuck, man? That's the best you could do.
Oh man. Yeah, that's insane. Hey, by the way,
look at these two homicide victims of Crawford.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Kishir for his contribution via the Super J. Says chocolate brownies break Pakistani poppadoms. Oh, come on, but chocolate brownies.
Sorry, BD. It's like when Amir Khan was retreating, he was bouncing around too high, like when he was moving away, and that was a little comparable to like when Pacquiao fought Kell Brook. Correction, when Pacquiao fought Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, when he hops, the hops is pretty pronounced. Mm-hmm. So when your opponent can time you based off the foot, where the foot movement is more sleek, more subtle, where you're bouncing less as you're trying to catch up to him, that means you're getting in position to hit your opponent because you're there already before he lands to punch him. And that's why I think Pacquiao, is another fighter that punches off the fly. It was able to beat Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman's pretty athletic. Same thing here, Brook pretty athletic, punches off the fly, and when Khan was retreating, he was raising his feet too much, and Kell Brook was already in place, so his movement was more subtle with the feet, faster feet, and I think that's why he was able to catch him before he caught him, because the hands are still fast, but when the legs don't match the hand speed, man, that's bad news because you're not going to be able to get your shots off. It's kind of like Povetkin, you can if your legs are not under you, you're not going to be able to punch with authority, especially, and that's why Kell Brook was not bothered, because if you don't got your legs under you, you can't punch. And if I set my legs before you set yours, because I'm more subtle with my foot movement, even though you're trying to retreat, my legs are in place before yours. I'm just going to beat you with a punch every time.
Exactly.
And that's what I saw happening here.
And then on top of that, Gonzalo, the fact that Khan got wobbled in the first round, so that must have taken a little something extra off his legs or out of his legs. So now we got an older fighter who can move his legs as quickly as his hands, or vice versa. I don't know, but the point remains his legs lost a little steam in there, and they continue to lose steam with subsequent punches that he got hit with, hard shots. So it was just a bad style matchup for him, man. And Kell Brook made the most of it. Now, I do have to say, though, even though, it was good to see both guys show each other respect after the fight, especially considering all the trash talking they've done. And you do have to respect both fighters. I mean, Khan, as far as I know, he never docked anybody. I know the Bradley fight never got made, but I don't think that was necessarily because they docked each other. I think it was just, one guy moved up, and it was just different timing. And, of course, the fact that he fought Canelo and did things as well as he could have. I mean, he did everything right. He was moving. He was throwing punches in bunches. He just got, beat down and knocked out with a punch. And as for Kell Brook, you got to give him props too, man. He fought a lot of good guys, Porter, Spence, and of course he moved up too to fight a monster in Gennady Golovkin. I mean, that was when there were middleweights that didn't even want to fight Golovkin. This guy moves up in 2 weight classes and fights him. I mean, you got to give both guys respect, but ultimately there can only be one. And so shout out to Kell Brook for that performance, man. It was really beat him down. All right.
Yeah, they had decent, you could say they both have really good resumes. Win or lose, they have really good resumes for sure. So, to me, the fight was meaningless. I said that in the beginning of the week, but I ended up enjoying it. Sometimes I wonder if I get suckered in for some of the theatrics outside.
Right. Well, I mean,
definitely, I was super excited, bro. I I was fucking jumping up and down, like "fuck you, bitch, you bitch."
Yeah, it was. That's what I said, man. People throughout the when the fight was announced, people their immediate reaction was, "Who cares? Screw these guys." But then Discord was lit, man, right before the fight. So people, it's like I said, we're boxing degenerates. As soon as you think, this fight sucks, but then the fight starts, it just lights a fire inside of us, and it's go time.
Yeah,
you also,
BD, and I was just gonna say real quick, and you can tell. So why is Khan? Why is he? Why is his movement so pronounced? It's because if you don't pick up your legs far enough up to move around the ring, you're pretty much gonna drag your feet right. And if you're dragging your feet, your opponent's gonna catch up to you quicker because you're dragging your feet. You're not in position to punch back. But then that also, like, you have to pick up your legs higher in order to move around, and that makes you more tired, right, BDA? Mm-hmm. So that's what it's, the legs are gone. And the only reason, the only way that maybe Khan could have fought back if he would have like stayed in place because the hands are still fast. But at the same time, he don't got a chin, and you're gonna get punched regardless. So if you can't take a punch, and you have no option but to move around, but then you have to really pick your legs up to move. That's gonna get you more tired, right? Because you can't drag your feet.
You know what I noticed?
That's bad news.
You know what I noticed, Gonzalo? That he stayed close. He made sure to stay close to Khan so that he can be right there to time him and take advantage of that, like exactly what you were talking about. So that was pretty smart of him. And it even seemed like he was conserving himself to make sure he doesn't fight out of character, fight within his frame of being close, understanding that he makes those mistakes and time him on it. And he basically, every time he caught him, whether his legs were shaking, you could just see the uncomfortableness in Khan's face. And I thought that in that sense, in terms of that aspect, I thought that was a good way to approach the fight for Brook.
Absolutely, man. I think he was already beaten before the fight, Khan, that is. I mean, that doesn't take away
I think he was too. Yeah, I think he was too. I think he was beaten before the fight. But yeah.
Listen, that doesn't take away credit from Khan because it's Khan's reputation that preceded him and made Khan quake in his boots. Now, let me just say real quick, you reminded me of something, Recognize. I think we want to get into the discussion at some point of if both guys were to retire today, Brook and Khan, who would have the better career? So that's something that we can get into. But before we do that, don't forget the phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. And if you're outside of North America and you can't call in, jump on the StreamYard. That's for callers outside of North America. You can jump in, give us your opinion, and then we'll keep switching between callers there. All right? So make sure you stick in there and give us your opinion. What else was I going to say about this? Yeah, well, who you guys think had the better career between Brook and Khan?
Because it's pretty close in terms of like what they've done and the people they fought, and now that they fought each other, I think it's Brook. So they were pretty even until they got in the ring, and then they both spent significant time outside of it. They both got ready for this fight, and now Brook not beat him on some scorecards that could have gone either way. He knocked him out. He stopped him. He beat him every single round and then stopped him. So, yeah, for me, I would say Brook.
Well, let me tell you what people in the chat are saying. Foxing Ben in the chat says easily Khan. Reverend Pickle says Khan had the better resume. Self-Law is not answering the question, but he says fuck plastic can. Blue Collar Sports TV says Khan. Shout out to Delbo, by the way. Check out his channel. He says Khan has the better wins. Yeah, I have to. Well, hold on. There's more comments here. Shout out to the Quacks. Says Khan, I guess. Brook is better all-around fighter, though. That's a good point. Zion Zelvin says Khan has a better resume, but Brook would have knocked Khan out had they faced off in their primes. Foxing Band says no way. Brook didn't even step up his competition until Porter. So there you have it. I mean, okay, one last one here. What about Mrs. Brook lost to Spence, Triple G, and Bud, and beat Porter? Brook easy. All right. So people are split on that one. Gonzalo, what do you think, man?
I guess for me, I would agree with that dude. I wouldn't say it's an easy choice. There is some arguments that Khan beat better fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue so that Brook was more of a threat. Was always seen more of a threat to his weight class than Khan, who had a big reputation. But as soon as you put him in there with a big name, he got wrecked.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what happened with. We're gonna get more into that, but there's two sides to that coin. Let's go to the phone lines here real quick. See what's going on. Let's go to. Hold on a second. Let's make sure the volume is up. All right, 111, the wild card line. 111, you're on the air. 111, what's on your mind? 111, can you hear me?
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, BD?
What's up, man?
Amir, Khan, Brook got destroyed. Chinny Chin. Yeah, I was so happy. He put all this A-side bullshit. With the gloves, made him change gloves in the ring. With the what's the name? Catch weight. The weight stipulations. He had a dehydration clause. All this stuff. They use A-side tactics. Look at the back knee. You could tell he's juiced to the gills. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so listen, he got destroyed. He's probably gonna, go back to his house and see AJ with his wife. But anyway.
Okay, come on. Oh man.
I feel bad for Brook.
So you say he hasn't changed since then? Since he saw AJ smashing his.
I mean, maybe he didn't pray enough to Allah. I don't know, man.
Okay, go.
But it's sad, bro. American got whooped.
He did indeed, man. And I noticed how you called him Amir Khan. That's been the old people who dislike him have switched that name over. But shout out to him, Machan, for his call, man. Great call as always. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to, hold on a second. 956, you're on the air. 956, what's on your mind?
I was about to say, I think this fight, I said it before the fight, I think the winner of this fight's going to fight Conor Ben, that dude. I think the winner, they're trying to build up Conor Ben, so they're going to put the winner of this fight, which was Brook, against Conor Ben. I think, what's his name, Kell Brook gets fucked up, but he's past his prime. You know what I'm saying? That's how they built up Conor Ben, man. And listen, all these fucking weirdos, man, hating on Khan and Brook. This is a great fight, man. It was entertaining. Two guys that didn't like each other. The atmosphere in the UK was great. I wish they were like that here in America. Here in America, motherfuckers don't care about boxing. Out there, they're fucking going all wild over two dudes past their prime. So all these fucking incels, man, that always fucking whine about fucking boxing. You see it, they always whine about something, man. Can you, shut the fuck up and stop whining and be glad there's boxing at 4 p.m., 3 p.m., man? It's annoying-ass motherfuckers, man. It's crazy. They always whine about something. There's always something to whine about. Shut the fuck up, pussy.
I agree, man. For the most part, I agree. For the most part, we shouldn't be get ourselves allowed to be dicked around. But at the same time, hey, man, some people were complaining about 2021. I go, come on, 2021 was one of the best years in boxing we've had in recent times. So, man,
that was the best year I've ever seen.
Well, there you go. All right, listen, 956. We got to move on to other calls, but thank you for your call. Very interesting points, and call back next time, all right, man? Take it easy. All right, that was 956. Let's go to another call. Let's go to 678. You're on the air. 678. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, y'all? So I feel a little betrayed. I feel like I betrayed my moral compass today, and I was duped into clicking the Amir Khan link today.
Oh, come on.
To that fight.
Why, you didn't like the fight, man? Come on.
Listen, man. What did you get? What was the outcome? Look at what happened, man. It was a complete execution.
Well, sometimes an execution can be fun if the guy deserves it. It's like Khan was fucking around way too much with the A-side powers. Wouldn't you agree, caller? Come on.
Yeah, that was crazy. But hey, one thing that I noticed about Khan, he looked like those the fighting the roosters, those gallos. When he's fighting, his feet are both planted and his fucking arms are wailing around, but he can't do anything.
That's true. Yeah, man. He looked like he's losing his shit. You know.
Hey, I'm proposing right now, Malinaji versus Khan, bro. Because I mean, everybody's just into sick shit right now.
That already happened, caller.
Well, there goes my boxing knowledge.
No, it's okay, man. Though it's an easy mistake to make. But anything else you want to say before we move on?
Boxing knowledge is terrible.
Oh, come on.
I'm playing.
Yeah, shout out BDA, shout out Recognize, shout out Jimmy.
All right, take it easy, man. Thank you for calling in, man. All right, man. Yeah, where's Jimmy, by the way? I sent him the invite here and on Twitter, and he's not. Jimmy,
he's riding around in his car.
All right, and Bucho too. Where's Bucho? No, I think Bucho's busy. By the way, yeah, the chicken thing. Yeah, he looked like a flailing rooster in there. Actually, sorry, that's chicken. Sorry, that's chickens, man. What the fuck? I need some roosters sound effects here. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to. And by the way, stay on StreamYard. I'll get to the StreamYard call as well. 817, you're on the air. 817, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, dudes? Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Yep. Yeah, I thought Khan, I originally thought Khan was going to win, but I thought this would be a 50-50 fight. I was really surprised to see Khan was that washed. I thought Khan would just overwhelm him with his, I know he's not as fast as he used to be, but I thought Khan would just overwhelm him and break Brook down. But like Recognize said earlier, as soon as I saw how nervous he looked in the walk-in, I was like, oh man, Khan's a little fucked up. And then that first, flush shot landed, and he was Bambi. I was really surprised. It's not surprising to see Khan get knocked out. I just didn't expect him to be that washed. As far as Brook goes, it looks like Brook might still have a little bit more in the tank. I think a good fight to make for him would be against Thurman, because Thurman's also washed. But he's coming off a victory, and I think that would be a really good US UK sort of bout. I really don't even know who would win that, because freaking Thurman's so weak to the body. Brook might be able to fold him.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Great
a good
point,
fight, man. That is a good fight. I just thought about that. Keith Thurman,
yeah,
Kell Brook.
I think it'd be a good one to make. The Khan fight, against Connor Ben. Man, I don't know, because Ben's coming off that really nasty knockout. Man, it might be a pretty one-sided fight, but I don't know. I truly think the Thurman fight would be better to make, a little bit more competitive too.
Yeah, maybe, man. Yeah, I mean, hopefully I think Brook is the type of guy that he's looking for a big fight now. He's feeling his oats in there, and he's looking for a big fight. Anything else you want to say, caller, before we move on?
Nah. Yeah, keep up the good work, guys. I love you, dudes.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your call. Take care.
We love you too.
Yeah, that's a good fight, PA. And there might be a little bit of a redemption thing going on in his mind, where he wants to right the wrongs right, because because his career got shortened by the Golovkin fight, so there's still a lot of unfulfilled, probably still potential. Because even when he lost those fights, he gave a good account of himself with Spence. I know he's got a chip on his shoulder because of that. When he was winning the Golovkin fight, he was doing really good, and he probably knew that he was gonna end up losing anyways, just because of the beast that he fought, But he went out there and he went out in the shield, and yeah, the Crawford fight, that was sour grapes, and so there might still be that thorn, and that he needs to right the wrongs right. And based off this performance, yeah, man, a Keith Thurman fight would be good, because Keith Thurman, he's moving around, and he's getting off the canvas where he's always getting punched on the way down or on the way up, and he's getting hurt. And this guy's sudden, man. If he could just, nail him while he's moving and tag him up, yeah, he could win that fight too. But I mean, I would still favor Thurman.
Well,
but yeah, that was a good point.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. By the way, Recognize you got some background noise.
Yeah, I can
Hold on a second. I'll get to mute him. Yeah, there's some background noise from. Well, you can still hear him probably, Gonzalo, but I can't. The viewers can't anymore. Yeah, that would be a good fight, man. Thurman, Brook, like you said, and Brook, now that he's got a little redemption, he's probably, like I said, he's probably got a little more confidence. But I recognize you got yourself some background noise there. So, all right, let's keep moving to a couple of more calls here. By the way, before we move on to more calls here, AJR says Brook had to get revenge for the LGBT community. I mean, I know that hasn't been confirmed, but apparently that's one of the big rumors. So shout out to Kell Brook, I suppose, for doing it for the progressives. There you go. That's Brook, celebrating after the fight. All right, let's go to the phone lines here real quick. We got more. Don't forget to call in, fellas. Hit the like button. Really appreciate it. All right, 301. You're on the air. 301. What's on your mind?
Yeah, guys. What's up? I got a shot to recognize because he had a pin. Like, from the moment I saw Khan walking out, I thought this guy's having a clear, like, panic attack, like a tachycardia event, you know?
No.
That's like, he's basically physically compromised. Like, he's got, like, a heart rate over, like, 100 beats per minute. Like, it's a terrible feeling if you ever had that. And if you ever had that, like, in a fight situation, that's not good to walk in.
The last time that happened to me was before a paternity test. They wanted to figure it out. I was involved in that. So I was, oof, my heart rate. But what did you think about the fight itself, man?
I mean, like, it was, I guess entertaining to watch a guy get, beat up, especially, when he's pulling all this crap, like changing his gloves and whatnot. I thought that was really low, like doing all that stuff to him. It's kind of like wishy-washy, too. Like, it's all over the place. Like, why give him the 2 pounds extra if you're going to make him have the rehydration clause, right?
Yeah.
Why not just do the double whammy? Like, do 145 and then the rehydration clause.
The double whammy.
I don't know what his thinking was there. Maybe a few months before the fight, like, Khan felt, more confident in his abilities, and then, like, when it came closer to reality, he started to realize, oh shit, I'm gonna get the fuck beaten out of me. Basically, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's probably it, man. Go ahead, yes, please.
Yeah, I'd like to see Brook in a couple more fights, I guess. Like, I think the Thurman fight would be good. I wasn't even thinking about that. Why not a Garcia fight too, or a couple of fights at 154? He's be a gatekeeper there if he wanted. If the money was right, I think he deserves it now.
You know what? Those are all tasty fights, man. That's a good point, man. I mean, those are good points, rather. That's people are becoming good matchmakers nowadays, man. Anything else you want to say, Carl, before we move in?
Nah, just it was I don't know, for some reason I kind of didn't like seeing Khan get beat up too much, even though he kind of deserves it. I think he just has some kind of charisma about him. But yeah, definitely like to echo the Royd rumors, because he looked like, for the first time in his career, like an athlete. He was all cut up and stuff.
Right.
And I think he did all that cupping stuff to deflect, like to make people not notice his the roid marks, like the acne and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So,
you know what?
Those cupping marks are not necessarily that you're taking, something, because you've seen a lot of fighters with it. I think I've seen Canelo with it, Canelo's a good example. But let's say I've seen Lomachenko with it too. I've seen Loma. I've seen Teofimo. Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, I know they're not indicative of them. I'm just saying that they could. I think he did that on purpose to, cover up the back knee and make it less obvious.
Got you. Yeah, okay.
On his back.
Well, 301. That's an excellent point, man. Well, listen, we got to move on to another call, but thank you for calling in. Call back next time, right, man?
Yeah.
Take it easy, man.
Have a good one.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, by the way, Khan was cupping, and Kell Brook was cupping as well, except in his cup, he had a little something else. It's called human sweat, and he was chugging that along with his trainer, man. All right, let's go to... They were chugging that down like they were Chevis. All right, let's go to the international calls here on StreamYard. Don't forget, if you're outside of North America, you can call in via StreamYard and give us your thoughts on the fight. Let's go to... Oh, we got Kenshiro on the StreamYard. Kenshiro, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me, guys?
What's up, Kenshiro?
Hey, how you guys doing, man? Yeah, brilliant display of the 6 rounds. I think from the first round, when hit Khan on 2 good occasions in the first round, set the precedence. I think Khan come out desperate in the round 2, but to be fair, he done very well in round 2. I think Brook weathered the storm, and then after that, it was one-way traffic all the way after that. The referee stopped it. I kind of wish he didn't. I want to see more of a beating, but that's the way it is at times.
Who are you rooting for, you said? Did you say that? Or
I'm sorry, say that last bit again?
Who are you rooting for? I think I missed it.
Kell Brook.
Kell Brook, okay. So it must have been satisfying then for you to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked another 6 rounds of beatings more, but, can't get what
he wanted him to die.
he wanted him to fuck. Man, that's
I like Kenshiro.
So, Kenshiro, what do you think is next for Brook, man?
Go. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping. Obviously, look, he's on. It's like that time when Usyk beat what's his name, AJ, and I was very amped up, and I come up on the radio show. I was, already amped up, and I recognized, sort of said in the background to you, BDA, just let Kenshiro say what he wants because he's really amped up and blah blah blah. Is that sort of thing? Obviously, he's amped up. Hopefully, Dominic will have a chat with him once, probably Monday. Say, listen, that was a crap guy you beat. Let's think about if you want to fight anybody else, or do you just want to go out on high now? So, I mean, if he does fight anybody else, who's it going to be? Maybe potentially Keith Thurman or Conor Benn or Chris Eubank. I don't know, but if one of those guys then beats him, then that's the end of it. Or he might just say, "Let's go out on high now," or wait for a rematch because Amir Khan could still have a rematch.
I don't know how well that could sell though. The rematch. I mean, it was as one-sided a fight as it could get.
Conor Benn and Keith Thurman, I think it's really hard to make a judgment about Conor Benn, but if Conor Benn hits as hard as it looks, that could be a big problem for him. But I could see still Kell Brook experience enough to to expose some of the things that Conor Benn needs to fix. The Keith Thurman fight
if
really
interesting. Want to fight Keith Thurman, like UK versus
that
USA,
fight
because,
yeah.
Maybe, but I think on Monday they'll have a proper chat. What do you say the rematch? Look at bloody Deontay Wilder and Fury 3. I mean, I don't know what. I don't think the PPEs are too bad, were they?
That's true.
Yeah, I think this time he'll just knock him out, right? Like the way Wilder did in the third fight, right? Like Wilder just ended up. All right, nobody's stopping the fight. I'm just gonna knock you out.
hopefully they'll just have some Muslim imam there just to bury.
Oh, come on. All right. All right. Well, listen, Kenshiro, we got to move on to another call, but anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, I'll love you guys' channel, and I'll see you guys next time when you have a StreamYard or Discord or whatever.
Open Discord, yeah, Friday. Open lines Friday, man. All right. Take it easy, Kenshiro. Thank you for calling in, man.
Stay safe, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You too, man. Let me go back to the North American calls, and then we'll return here to the international calls. I see people waiting. Stay on the line, please. All right, let's go to... Oh, by the way, shout out to Carlos Luis for his contribution with the Super Chat. He says Triple G was the worst career move, but what's next? Thurman or Conor Benn? We're going to see, man. We'll see. But yeah, fighting Triple G was a bad career move. All right, so shout out to Carlos Luis for his contribution. Let's go to 213. You're on the air. 213. What's on your mind?
Hey, guys, it's Campos. I caught the fight for Brook at negative 115.
Oh.
So I made 1,000, and as far as Brook and Thurman, Brook's fighting at 149. Wasn't this fight at a catchweight?
I believe that was the catchweight, right?
Yeah, 149. So I don't see Thurman fighting Brook. Now, Brooks fought at 154, and Danny Garcia did mention that he would take the winner. That could be a good fight.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of options for him there.
And then when I called into the chat, the question was mentioned, who had the most illustrious career, Khan or Brook? One thing Khan can say is that Floyd Mayweather ducked him, but then again, a lot of people can say that too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people,
including Brook.
Including Brook, yeah.
Exactly. So that's my call, guys. Thank you, and I'm going to keep listening.
Thank you, Campos. Thank you for calling in, man. Stay safe. Take it easy, man. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to... Hold on a second. It's loading up. 323. You're on the air. 323. What's on your mind?
Hello. I just wanted to say that I already knew what was gonna happen. Like as soon as I tuned into the fight, the first thing I see is Khan getting walled by a jab, and I was like, I literally said it out loud. I was like, I knew it. I knew this was gonna happen. And then like just if you think about it this way, like look, even when Khan was in his prime, even if the fighter wasn't that good, he would get caught with one shot and that would end the fight. So imagine Khan right now with less reflexes, less speed, overall more washed. I knew that Kell Brook would wash him. And in terms of the Kell versus Thurman fight, I don't think that would happen because I don't think Kell Brook's going to make 147, and I think Thurman could make 147 easy. So I don't know if that fight's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Yeah, there's that weight discrepancy there. Kell Brook should not fight at 147. He's going to be weight drained if he does that. 323. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you for calling in and take it easy out there. Call back next time.
All right, thank you.
Take it easy, man. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. All right, let's go to the international callers here. Don't forget you can call in if you're in North America to the number that's on the left-hand portion of your screen, or if you are outside of North America, you can call in via StreamYard. All right, let's go to... we got Del Boy in the house. Del Boy, you there?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me okay?
Coming through loud and clear, man.
Nice one. Yeah, I mean...
Slamming Del Boy?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. How you doing, Stu?
I'm very good, thank you. It's good to hear from you, Del. I've been watching your other channel, That's fucking... It's good channel, that, bro. Well done, man.
Thank you, man. But yeah, man, Brook Khan, I mean, listen, man, for what it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed the build-up. I mean, there was fucking claims of racism, homophobia, poppadom chins, and God knows what else. The build-up was fucking filled with degeneracy. Both guys shot to bits, begging for a payday like a fucking cracker on the street. But in all seriousness, the fight was pretty fun. But as I was watching that fight, I was getting more and more pissed off because, I don't know, it puts it into reality, but Kell Brook, to me, has been one of the biggest wastes of talent in British boxing in the last 20 years. He's been terribly mismanaged from start to finish, even before Eddie Hearn with Frank Warren. He was Manny Pacquiao's mandatory in 2010, 2011. His career just stalled and stalled and stalled, never got the fights, didn't live a life outside the ring, took that Golovkin fight and it was all over. Because before that Golovkin fight, I mean, I would have picked him to beat Vargas in that unification. I'd have picked him to beat Danny Garcia. Keith Thurman prime would have been 50-50, but to me, Kell Brook's career has been a fucking disaster for as talented as he was. Just a waste of potential. And it pissed me off watching this fight. It was fun, but the guy's chased this fucking chinless clown around for 10 years. Yeah, he's got his win, but he's wasted his fucking career. So, and by the way, that referee was a fucking scumbag. That referee was a scumbag as well.
Del Boy. Yeah, I said exactly the same thing on this show. Kell Brook is the biggest disappointment in British boxing in the last 20 years. And the talent this kid had. Anyone that knows from the beginning when I first came on YouTube, I was a big Kell Brook fan. I used to give Lester Gibbs a lot of stick about it. When I said he was going to beat Sean Porter, no one believed me. They were laughing at me. The Kell Brook is a very talented guy.
Yeah.
And massive shame what's happened to his career is because, like Del Boy said, chasing Amir Khan around like he's fucking some Floyd Mayweather Mark II. No, he's not. He's chinless Khan. And I said Kell Brook will knock Khan the fuck out. That's the only thing I didn't get wrong is Khan was standing on his feet at the end of the fight because I honestly thought that Khan would be stretched out of there. Every time this guy gets hit clean on the chin, there's something happening. And usually it's not good news. He's all over. He doesn't get hurt. He does the Jackie Wilson dance. He's all over the fucking shop, right? And he's Jackie Wilson and Fred Astaire rolled into one, that fucking guy. But it's just alarming. It's just alarming how every time he gets caught clean, something that's happening, and you can't keep getting hurt like that. And let's be real about Amir Khan. That work was atrocious. His work. He's throwing arm punches out of distance. He's actually rolling out of there before he's even fighting his feet. So you're not getting no venom. And he was so predictable. He was the same all night. Where were the hooks? Where were the uppercuts? Where were the body shots? He just flash, little bursts of straight punches,
it's
never
Stu,
fucking hit anything.
you're breaking up, Stu. You started to break up there near the end. I don't know. Maybe you're walking around.
Yeah, no, Amir Khan's work was very predictable. He was throwing the same shots, the straight shots. They weren't working out of
Stu,
range.
I gotta interrupt you. I gotta interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Stu, but you're breaking up again, man. Maybe try to jump out and jump back in.
Yeah, I've got a bad signal today. Sorry, bro. Come on.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. But so Del Boy
got hit. He was Jackie Wilson over there.
Yeah, Fred Astaire. Del Boy, do you think it's a bad move for Kell Brook to go back to 147 and fight Conor Ben?
Yeah, listen, I don't rate Conor Ben. I think the guy's a hype job, to be honest. But yeah, the weight is just—it's not doable. What's going to happen? People are talking about Keith Thurman and God knows what else. Kell Brook, summer 2022, Sky Sports pay-per-view. Kell Brook versus Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. is a fucking scumbag. He came on Sky Sports and said, "This guy cost me the Golovkin fight." No, he blamed Kell Brook for taking his fight. Fucking Eubank Jr. shit his pants and didn't sign the contract. Eubank Jr. is he's like a vulture, man, surrounding corpses and picking off bare bones, man. The guy's a scumbag. And by the way, one more thing before I go. The referee, piece of shit. We've been waiting for this fight for 10 years. 10 years we've been waiting for this fight. Amir Khan, every time he loses, he's on a fucking highlight reel. And the referee jumps in when he's a little bit staggered. It should have gone on. It needed a conclusive ending. I wanted to see that guy cleaned out. Embarrassing.
I agree,
poor
man.
Refereeing. Soft ref. It's typical UK fucking... It's bullshit, man. Bullshit.
I agree, Del Boy. I agree. I wanted to see him flatten out. I'm sorry to say, but that's what we pay for, man. We're a bunch of degenerates, and we want to see blood, man. What can I tell you?
Bro, I stole the fight, and I felt fucking short.
Did you see the state of Khan's? You see the state of Khan's face after that fight, right? He was an absolute mess. He looked like a fucking truck had hit him. I mean... It's time to call it a day, man. I mean, he's going to get killed in the ring if he don't. If someone don't pull this guy aside and say, "Look, enough's enough, Amir, man. You're taking a last whooping every time I see it," and this guy's going to get hurt. Because let's be real, Kell Brooks, Amir Khan's lucky his timing was a bit off today, and he was a bit rusty. Because if he wasn't, fucking hell, they'd been in a fucking helicopter now, flying to fucking London. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. This guy's going to get seriously hurt.
All right, Del Boy. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
Nah, man, that's it, man. Great show as always. Best boxing show on YouTube. I've had a few drinks, man, so I'm a bit fucked. So I'm gonna
oh, that's why, yeah. All right, well, Del Boy, really appreciate it, man. And I check your Discord, man, because I sent you a message there.
Nice one. Cheers, man. Peace.
All right, thank you, Del Boy. Thank you for calling in, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that's Del Boy. By the way, check out Blue Collar Sports TV. That's Del Boy's channel. And check out his second channel, which is non-boxing, called Disturbed Reality. A little too spooky for my taste, but if you're into real-life horror stories, ooh-wee, is that the show for you? All right, let's go to another international...
Stu's telling the truth. Real quick, Stu's telling the truth, man. He's really lucky that Brooks, timing might have been a little off, or maybe even a lot off compared to what he's used to being. Because I think he would have fucking sparked them out cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Kell Brook was, you could tell the early rounds, he was terribly off, but he just started warming into his rhythm, and I think he started to work Khan out, because Khan does a lot of movement. There's a lot going on, but nothing really happening, if you get what I'm saying. And he's quite hard to time early on, Khan is. That's what Danny Garcia, he took his time, didn't he? When he did, we all know what happened. But Khan, he is quite difficult to hit clean, because he's just running all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of running, Khan, and he's hard to get up to. I mean, Kell Brook had to wait his turn, wait his time, and some of the shots he was throwing were sloppy, But as the fight got on, the timing got better, and he started to catch Khan clean, and then the right was on the wall, and Khan was getting hurt with jabs. Listen, every shot that Kell Brook landed half clean, Amir Khan was hurt.
Yeah, It was. Yeah, that's why when people say he should retire, I don't blame him, man. Let me just get through a couple of international calls here, and then we'll jump back here on the panel. We got Jimmy dropping by as well. Jimmy, always appreciate. I want to hear what you have to say, but first, let me just get to. All right, I think this guy's related to Amir Khan. Let's see what he has to say. Mahir Khan, you're on the air. Mahir Khan, what's on your mind? Mahir Khan, can you hear us? Oh, there's two of them. Hold on a second. Let me see if the second one works. Mahir Khan, can you hear us? Mahir Khan going once. going twice. All right, I think you gotta unmute your mic there, man. Check your set. Hold on a second. Mahir Khan, are you there? I don't think you can hear me, man. All right, check your StreamYard settings there. All right, we got, let's see who else is calling in. Oh, Brian Harkin. Brian, you're on the air. What's on your mind, man?
How you doing, guys? What I saw tonight was pretty much what I expected happen if this fight would have happened 7, 8 years ago. Khan, I don't know how to describe Khan, right? I don't think his personality comes off. I never liked his personality, but barring that there, he throws more freaking punches. He wastes more punches than anybody else in boxing. His timing was off tonight. His timing was off. He threw a lot of punches. He missed a lot of punches. I think Kell Brook defensively, I think is a very good, like in this fight, I thought, he wasn't quick defensively, but his timing and his head movement, he made Khan miss a lot. I think he had better timing all night. He was just looking for the one shot. So he was, just that one shot to knock Khan out.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't setting up his punches, even when he was attacking. He wasn't setting up with the jab. His in and out foot movement wasn't good attacking. He was, for me, every time he caught Khan clean, it was on the counter. The majority of the time he caught Khan clean was Khan was overextending himself, and he caught him on the counter. And that's how you fight Khan. Khan throws a lot of punches, but no upper body movement. No defensively, he always seems to get caught. He throws shots, and he doesn't step back. He always steps in, and he always seems to step into traps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
doesn't
you're
matter
right,
if
man.
it's Prescott. Doesn't matter if it's Danny Garcia or Kell Brook or not Kell Brook. Bud Crawford or anybody else. He always seems to step into traps.
Yeah, man. They even told him. Bomag was telling him, you're relying on your speed. You gotta calm down. He's always hyper, man.
Yeah.
Now that's a great breakdown that you brought in about. He just looked off today more than ever. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, pretty much how I see it. If one last thing, if Kell Brook fights Chris Eubank Jr., he right, goodbye, end career. That's a cherry pick for Chris Eubank Jr. They both called each other out after the fight, basically. Kell Brook says, I'd like to fight Chris Eubank Jr., and Chris Eubank Jr. reciprocated saying, I wouldn't mind that fight, right? So that is a cherry pick. I hope Kell Brook retires. Khan should retire. For me, it was an itch both guys had to scratch tonight. And, for me, I always thought Kell Brook would win. Due to timing. And, I thought the better man won tonight. That was basically, it.
Well, that's a fantastic breakdown right there, Brian. You pointed out a lot of salient points, man. And call back next time, right, man? Really appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, BDA.
All right. Take it easy, man. Thank you for calling in. You too, man. Peace. All right. Let's see if Amir Mahir Khan is in there. Mahir Khan, you're on the air.
Hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What's on your mind, man? Yes.
All right. So what I was thinking was, in the first round, when he got hit with a shot, do you think his game plan just shut off and he didn't know what to do? He looked clueless, I think.
Yeah, man, that's what people have been pointing out. That he just as soon as he got wobbled, he got fucked up, man.
Yeah, and you see in the corner, he keeps on chopping and changing, and it's quite annoying, isn't it? Because you always think once you lose, you should stick with the trainer because he's a trainer after all, and he knows your weaknesses and he knows what to do.
Listen, there's guys like Canelo who stick to their trainer after a loss, and then there's guys like De La Hoya and Amir Khan who they lose and they just switch trainers like they switch underwear. and it's not. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What do you want me to say? Mahir Khan, who are you rooting for, by the way?
Well, who do you think? Have a guess.
Amir Khan.
Yes.
Oh, come on, man. All right. Well, listen, that's your right. And anything else you want to say before we move on?
Well, I think Amir Khan should retire. He's made his money. He's had a good few fights, and yeah, that's it. And right. Thank you for letting me in and enjoy the channel and listening to it all the time. So yeah,
thank you for calling in, man. Take it easy out there. Call back next time. All right, let's go to. We got another caller here on the international line. We got Steven Schneider on the line. Steven, can you hear me? What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, man, I'm broadcasting from Kazakhstan right now.
Oh,
what's going on, man?
Kazakhstan, good for you, man. Just avoid any Golovkins out there.
Yeah, man, I'm just hanging out here, eating falafel and shit.
The fuck.
But yeah, I just called in to,
I bet you're camping outside. Schneider, I bet you're camping outside Golovkin's house, aren't you, you weirdo?
Okay, come on.
Oh, Stu, you son of a bitch. But no, I just I think hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, it's good to have you back. Anyway, I'm gonna get in and all that, but it's good. It's good to hear your voice again around here and all that, man. Yeah. Well, we need some baseness, and yeah, we need some people giving some reality checks around here. Because Bucho and BDA, they've been a bunch of pacifists. So.
Oh, come on. In what regards?
Couple of communists, aren't they? Para-communists, the pair of them.
No, come on. I'm not going to take that. You guys think on a Saturday evening I'm going to sit here and take that? Oh, you better think twice, buddy boys.
Hey, guys, I think we got sold some... a lot of us knew what was, the whole narrative of, they're both shot and this, that, and the other, and guess what they were? But, oh, my God, was Khan... Khan wasn't shot. He got hit by Hiroshima. That guy was nuked. He was beyond, oh, my God. That guy... Dude, and it was funny because he was talking shit about getting knocked out by a jab. He was getting fucking hurt by a jab every round. If that wasn't a cash grab, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I just couldn't get it when people were picking Amir Khan to win that fight. I just didn't get it because even though Kell Brook shot, Khan's definitely shot. Kell Brook still has far too much in him for Amir Khan. Styles make fights. Amir Khan's tailor-made for that guy, for Kell Brook. I knew. Look, the only prediction I got wrong, I thought Khan would be asleep still. That's about it. That guy, he needs to retire because when you start getting hurt with jabs, then you know that it's time to call it a day because you'll end up fucking getting really hurt. And this guy can't con his way into another fight. No one's going to buy it anymore.
Yeah, Stephen, what do you think about that? Do you think his selling power is gone now after this loss, Stephen?
What? Who? Khan?
Khan, yeah.
Oh yeah, Khan's gone. Yeah, forget about Khan. But I was actually really excited for this fight, and the closer it got, the more excited I was for it. And I was so disappointed in the second round. The first round, I was like, all right, I got hurt. But after the second round, I was like, oh my God, Khan was clearly just he is so gone. He is so fucking gone.
And so predictable. His work was so predictable. It was telegraphed, predictable. Kell Brook didn't have to do much to avoid them shots. They were arm punches. He wasn't even planting his feet. He wasn't sitting on his punches. He was just throwing his arms and rolling out there and hoping one lands. Terrible. Going for the same shot. No hooks.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Stephen. Go ahead.
Yeah, Stephen, go ahead.
Khan was literally telegraphing. He would throw the jab. He was doing that triple jab, but he would feint the right, and then within a half a second throw the right. It's like you just feinted. The guy reacted, and then you threw it as if that wasn't going to land on his timing was terrible. Nothing. The only thing he had was somewhat of his speed, but he was like feint in the shot that he was going to throw, which is kind of asinine because it's the reversal of the point of feinting in the first place. Why are you feinting the shot you're about to throw right after that? That's like you're not telegraphed. You're not only are you, it was weird.
That's
like,
an
he's
excellent.
Just shot. He's done.
Excellent point. But hold on, real quick. Excellent point, Stephen. And anything else you want to say before we move on?
Yeah, I want to say that I feel disappointed and I feel bad for anybody that paid for this. I know it's like hindsight's 2020, but god damn, man.
Well, listen, my daughter paid for it for me tonight. I'll tell you what, I've got value for money. I don't care. I mean, let's be real. When it comes to boxing, it's very rare you get value for money these days. And I thought that was entertaining. What's the point of watching two unbeaten guys being all cagey, holding, and six punches around? I don't want to watch that. I want to watch two shot fighters that can't get out of the way of punches anymore, beating the shit out of each other. It's brilliant to watch.
Listen, brother. I think that fucking ref robbed all the paying people of what they wanted to see, which was a knockout, which was gonna happen. Like Brook was gonna lay him out. Like, I mean, that was
it was a matter of time.
Well, listen, Stephen,
I think what it was, Khan just wasn't throwing back though. Khan for about a round and a half was just not throwing anything, and you can't keep taking shots. And I think it was a fair stoppage, to be honest with you. I mean, unless you want, some of you guys wanted to see a fucking body tonight, the way you lot going.
I'm a sick fuck. I'm a sick fuck.
Well, listen, Stephen.
All right, man, I'm out.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on, man. I'm out.
Take it easy, Stephen. Thank you for calling in. Call back next time, right, man? All right. Shout out to Stephen Schneider for his call on the StreamYard. Don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution to the super chat. And he says, Amir Khan, the first comment he made, the first super chat, he says, Brook ready to rematch Triple G. I gotta tell you, he's riding high off this victory, Chris K. I wouldn't be surprised if he really believes that, hey man, if I get Triple G now, it's gonna be a whole different fight. And shout out to Chris K again for his contribution to the super chat. He says, Amir Khan or Amir Khan, the ref robbed us of a KO. Yeah, the ref really should have let it go on, man. The ref really should have. I wanted to see somebody laid out, not killed or anything. But
like Wilder, innit? Wilder got pasted around the ring for about 6-7 rounds and then just got sparked out cold. That's what you want to see. Let's be real. They're getting paid a lot of money to sleep. I mean, at the end of the day, I get it though. No one wants to see a fucking guy dead in the ring. And then Khan is coming to that stage where he could be the next. The way he just can't get out of the way of shots no more. His legs are gone. He can't take a shot no more. Chin was never the best, but this guy is going to get seriously hurt if someone don't pull him aside and say, "That's enough, Amir. Back to the jungle, innit? It's a celebrity. I'm gonna get me out of here." Thing. He ain't a boxer no more.
I was gonna say, Khan, he might have looked more bad because if there's one quality that Kell Brook has, you got to admire his fighting spirit. He comes after you. And especially during these times where you have like these long layoffs because of COVID or just simple inactivity, man, you come out there and you put the pressure from the beginning like Kell Brook usually does. He'll jump on you. He did it against Golovkin. He put the pressure on Spence. In his losing effort against Crawford, he got on him too. He was winning rounds. He punches off the fly. He gets in there. He lets his hands go. Same thing could be said about Khan. Like you mentioned, Stu, who wants to see two fighters? They're going to get on the back foot, who are going to shell up. No, these two guys came out and got it. That same could be said that's the reason for their downfalls. But at the same time, one guy had to win, and Brook looked better than Khan because he got on his ass, and Khan couldn't get away from his punches. So
this is it. I mean, let's be real. I mean, what do you want to pay for? Do you want to pay for Morales Barrera, or do you want to pay for fucking Rigondeaux versus some chump? I mean, let's be real. No one wants to see back foot fighters pop shotting their way to points wins against guys they're much better than, and we want to see wars. I mean, look, let's be real. Gatti Ward, I know Jimmy's boy is Mickey Ward. Mickey Ward, really, that fight has made who Mickey Ward is, because without Gatti, there is no Mickey Ward. And that's the way I see it. I think Mickey Ward was a good fighter at the time, but he wasn't at the elite level for me. It was that Gatti trilogy that he had that made Mickey Ward a big name and a Hall of Famer, because. Like I said, when you mention Mickey Ward, everyone goes, "Well, Arturo Gatti." No one mentions anyone else. And that's what I mean. You just need two fighters to gel to make a war, and they can make their own legacies off that. They don't need to be unbeaten and never been punched in the face before. You know, they'll fucking forget all that. We want to see fights.
That's a great point, there, Stu. And just speaking of Jimmy, because we got to get back to the phone calls, but I want to hear from Jimmy, who's been patient here throughout the phone call. Jimmy, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, man? First off, Stu, I agree 100% with your assessment on Mickey. That's absolutely right. He was
Sorry,
known and what's that?
Jimmy, I was cringing a bit saying it because I know he's your boy, and I didn't.
No, but dude, I even when it comes to him, I keep my emotions out of it. You know what I mean? Factually, he was gaining popularity. He fought more times on ESPN. I just actually found this out recently than any other fighter, which is actually kind of strange. But he always had that kind of domestic level, thing. But no, without a doubt, what catapulted him, what gave him his name, and that's still talked about, is with the Toro Gotti. That's just the facts. You know what I mean? So, 100% agreed. On to Con and Brooke. Listen, Brooke is going to be, you can picture it, man. Fucking one of those mornings when he's just bummed out because when everybody questions things they did in their life, man, if I would have done it this way, how things could have been different. He saw that $3 million and that opportunity, and he didn't think beyond that $3 million payday with Triple G because that ruined his career, without a doubt. Think about the trajectory of his career if he wouldn't have taken that fucking thumping that broke his eye and just started down. I think, you know what I mean? So I think it, and then also going back to stay at 154. What's that?
That Spence fight would have been a lot closer, Jimmy, if he hadn't took that Golovkin fight. I think that would have been a lot closer fight.
Of course, it just changes you when you get beat up like that. It wasn't just a broken eye socket. Those punches he was getting hit with, he's never been punched like that. And then to get hit like that, going up to fighting at 160, and then making the asshole mistake of going back down to 147. Like going back down one weight, you know what I mean, is very seldom done successfully. Going back down 2 weights, I mean, he looked like a skeleton against Crawford. Khan, he just needs to back the fuck, and he just needs to call it a day. But if I was also, if I was Brooke right now, it's never going to get better than it is tonight for that kid. That's it. No matter what he tries to do, who he tries to get a fucking fight and squeeze a few more dollars unless he needs them desperately, as far as his boxing world and career, it will never be any better than it is tonight. Walk away.
I agree with that, Jimmy, but I still think there's another fight in him. I thought he was good enough tonight. I know Khan was shot to pieces, but I still think he was good. He showed enough things in there for me.
Absolutely, Stu, but how much more can he go, though?
Yeah, he's not going to beat Spence and Crawford. We know that. But the other guys, I think he's got a chance in any of them.
I would just put. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was going to say, but dude, wouldn't you like, you know what I mean? Like he's with his family, his friends right now. This was a big fight in England because of all the years gone by. Like this was a big thing for him right now. I'm just thinking, unless he loses the money. Unless he needs the money,
Sorry, Jimmy. If you see after the fight, though, the way he was, he said he sort of fell in love with the sport again, and that's a dangerous thing for him if he's thinking of retiring. So because the thing with boxing, they need people to tell them, don't they? Because they think they can go on forever, and that like you said, that adrenaline rush, it's like taking your first line of Charlie. You're never going to get that.
Good example there, man. Good example there, Stu. Hey, listen, let's go back to the phone lines real quick, man. Let's go to 661. You're on the air. 661. What's on your mind?
So Amir Khan versus Kell Brooks was another ritual, you can say, because I told you guys the archons run the world. Archons are basically the highest form of demonic psychological tortures, right? If you look at the news anchors, the word, if you flip the word anchor around, it's archon, right? Like news anchors on the television. Well, Amir Khan, have you ever heard like a mere mortal? Mir Khan, right? Mir archon. And also Brook, right? Oh, Mir. Also, Mir is another word for like a lake. And the same thing with Brook, right? So this is just another ritual, another spell. Brook also means a small stream, right? But in another note, while we're on that, while a lot of viewers are watching, I want to inform everybody that there's going to be a lot of
They're not anymore.
famine, a lot of war, a lot of famine, a lot of war coming up. Basically a civil war, and everybody needs to like decide, draw the line. Who are they going to choose? White people or black people? Who are you going to join? Because there's going to be a lot of war coming. That's all, though. Much love, BDA.
All right, take it easy, Fighter Spirit. Always with interesting calls, man. He's saying it's going to be an either-or scenario. You're either with one race or you're with the other. All right. Hey, by the way,
that turned quickly.
Yeah, Fighter Spirit. Anything else you want to say before we move on, or?
That's about it. You guys just prepare, pick a side, because there's going to be a lot of dead bodies, a lot of lynchings, a lot of disease and death. Peace, y'all. All
right, take it easy. That's that's Fighter Spirit, the third horseman of the apocalypse there, and shout out to Fighter Spirit.
But what about the exit? Man, there's going to be a lot of pestilence, disease, and death and suffering. Hey, take it easy, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good Sunday. Yeah, enjoy your Saturday. I mean, my goodness gracious. Oh, he always brings the fire. You got to give it up to him. All right, well, listen, Jimmy, I want to ask you something, man. Amir Khan looked, I don't know if you saw him as he was walking towards the ring, but he looked uncharacteristically nervous. I don't know if I'd have to rewatch some of his other fights to see if he ever showed that type of demeanor prior to the fight. But what do you think? Like, do you think he was beaten before the actual, before the bell rang, or what was going on there?
Well, usually if they're showing nerves because they know something, and what do? They know that probably during his sparring and getting ready for this fight, he was feeling it like he's never felt it before. Like he was probably having, just out on your feet for those split seconds where you see that bright flash of white and everything goes kind of silent for just a second. You know what I mean? And he's probably feeling that a lot more than he ever had. Probably all playing on him, knowing now, okay, now I'm not in there against somebody I'm paying to give me rounds, but actually looking to take my head off who really doesn't like me. Maybe all his running his mouth started playing in the back of his mind. It's all, all just speculation, but it's a tough place to be when you know where you're going to be before that fight's out. So he probably knew, fuck.
You know what? He passed by
go out.
He passed by the ambulances. He passed by the ambulances in the parking lot when he was walking towards the ring. And Andre Shooter in the Discord said, "Yeah, he's checking the tires to see if they're going to be if they're going to be working, so they can take him to the hospital."
Did one of the fucking attendants say, "Hey, I got comfortable pillows with me tonight"?
I got morphine in there.
Jimmy Khan, he's upright. And he's a fighter that we know doesn't have a good chin, and his boxing is kind of limited in the sense that, he's an offensive fighter, but the only thing he can really do is throw punches with speed. He's all speed. So when he goes out there, especially against a fighter like Brook that jumps on you, he knows that it's going to be fight or flight. He has to throw punches, and that's all he knows how to do. When he gets nervous, he doesn't have like a variation to this game where he's going to get on the back foot effectively while jabbing, because he moved around, but it was not effective. His only way to fight is to let his hands go, and because he gets nervous, he knows they're coming to get him to touch up his chin. So when he fought Brook, we know that Brook usually comes out firing at all cylinders too. He's not gonna wait. He's not gonna come out studying and the second or the first and the second or the third round. No, he's gonna get on you. So he knew that from the beginning this was gonna be a fight. And being the bigger guy, Kell Brook, he was kind of nervous.
Hey, Mr. BDA. Oh, sorry, Stu. I couldn't hear you. Keep going.
No, sorry, brother. I was just going to say, I think they both put a lot of pressure on themselves. That's what happens when there's a grudge match. You hate someone. It takes a long time to get over them defeats. They're the ones that hurt. You know what I mean? And I think if Kell Brook had lost that fight, it finished him mentally as a person, not even as a fighter. I think he could have ended up like Kirtland Lang, pissed up on a bench somewhere. It just they're the sort of defeats that never leave boxers. Because like I said, there was a hatred for Khan, and vice versa. But it made for good TV. Let's be real. These guys nowhere near their best, yet they still. Sold out in like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. I don't know what it was. It weren't long anyway. I put it on our website for these tickets because I wanted to go and watch it, and this website come back, they want £1,200 for a ticket. Fuck that! I don't want to see it that much. Do you know what I mean? But This was in demand, this fight, so it's still a big fight.
Yeah, Kell Brook's an aggressive fighter. Maybe that's his downfall as well, because he punches and keeps on punching, and eventually you're gonna run into something too. Maybe he can have more success if he lays off like the punching. Like after a few rounds, he decides to do something else. Maybe plant his feet or like use it like a better guard up, and not just keep jumping in, because it's a matter of time where you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're gonna get caught, dude. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. He's good, but you can't be so aggressive all the time. This is boxing, dude. Punches are gonna come back the other way. That's all I'm saying about Kell Brook. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, but I think up to 154.
Yeah, I've seen Kell Brook though be patient when he fought to Portland guys. He can fight on the back foot and look slick. I think with Khan's you just can't do it against Khan, because if you go on the back foot against Khan, then there is no fight, because Khan ain't going to come forward. Khan is on the retreat all the time, throwing out. What he'll do, he'll circle the ring, wait his moment to stop, throw 2 or 3 arm punches, roll back out. It's just, you got no choice to fucking hunt the guy down. Otherwise, there's no fun. And I think he was put out of his comfort zone by doing that. But I think he had so much anger towards Khan. You could see there was no thought behind his work. It was just hunt him down and knock his fucking head off. That was basically the game plan. And
seek and destroy.
Yeah,
He wasn't worried about anything coming at him.
You guys are talking as if Kell Brook's back. His career is gonna continue. Like, I don't know what's going on here, man. He will fight Amir Khan. It's over. But
come on, man. The thing is,
Brook, what are you guys doing? 154? What are you guys, crazy?
No, I said. Oh no, Mr. Bucho. No, when I said 154, I meant when he after the Triple G fight. I've already said I think he should. Yeah, punch his ticket.
That 154.
I think he should punch his ticket.
Garbage. It's fucking garbage. You got Jared Turd. You got fucking Jamal Charlo, who lost to Harrison, for crying out loud. You know, who else is there? I mean, 154 is terrible. I mean,
what are you saying? Mungeer.
Oh, 154 is a terrible division. Why can't Kell Brook? I'm not saying he's going to dominate the division.
God, no way, man. No way you're saying this, man. I don't know.
I'll tell you what.
Nobody gets better with age, but if you write off the fight with, what is that Spence fought against against Crawford as an anomaly, everything else can be explained away. The Golovkin fight and the close fight with Errol Spence, it was just a Crawford fight. But anything else other than that, what evidence do you have to go by that he can still be competitive? Yeah, he got watched by Crawford. He could probably still compete against other guys.
Yeah, but didn't he look like shit after that when he had those comeback fights? Yeah, I think they were at 154. Remember that? Before he fought Crawford, he had a few fights.
Yeah, but the thing is,
all of a sudden he's gonna be better than before. Well, how is that possible? He's getting older, right? He got destroyed by a jab from fucking Crawford, and now he fought Amir Khan. Okay, he looked like he was back, but it's my Amir Khan. Come on, guys.
Yeah, but come on, mate. You got that 2 pounds. That 2 pounds on Kell Brook made the difference against Crawford. Oh, I'm not saying he'd have won anyway, even if he had that £2 back, but. That he was dead at the weight. I mean, look at him. He looked like fucking Skeletor coming in the ring, didn't he? I mean, he looked ill, man. And like, you can't go into a ring fighting Terence Crawford, weight drained, because it's going to end very badly for you. And this is the thing.
He already fought at 154. He already fought at 154, and he didn't look.
Can you remember the fucking guy that he fought? Because I can't. Was it some fucking supermodel or some underwear model? I mean, who's going to get up for that?
He fought a male strip. You're
going to get up in the morning. Hang on a minute. I've got Mr. Calvin Klein. I'm fighting Mr. Calvin Klein. I'm really up for this one. No, you're not. You know. This is the problem.
When he fought those guys, you said he was on, and all of a sudden he beats Amir Khan, and you said he has a chance of becoming a champion at 154.
No, I didn't say that. Don't put things in my mouth. I didn't say that. I said he's not going to beat the. No, I said he's not going to beat the top guys, but I think he can handle the rest. That's what I said in the. Let's be real. There's no Keith Thurman's just as shaky as fucking Kell Brook.
Did he win rounds? Did he win rounds against Crawford?
Yes.
How many did it go? Five.
It
Yeah,
went
I didn't win
3.5 rounds.
rounds.
Well, Crawford was his round.
Yeah, but Crawford's a tremendous fighter. You know, you guys are going on like it's shameful losing to Terence Crawford.
Well, can I say something here? Can I say something? First of all, at Kell Brook, you guys have to remember he did fight Magic Mike Zerafa, who was a male stripper at one point, and Brook was winning the first 5 rounds. He was making him bleed a lot from the nose. Then all of a sudden, from one round to the next, Brook started to slow down, and Zerafa he couldn't miss him. So that was a weird fight. But then Brook fought an ex-marine or something, and just like wiped the guy. Wasn't really a boxer. He started bleeding.
Carson Jones fight.
Was that?
Carson Jones had no business making that first fight as close as it was. Kell Brook had that fight won at distance, and he got into a war with Carson Jones. And Carson Jones has got that Golovkin engine, isn't he? He's from Big Bear. Tough as they come. And he sort of grinded his way back into the fight. But he had no business being there in the first. Kell Brook should have stuck to his game plan. He'd have tore Carson Jones a new one, like he did in the second fight.
I thought Carson Jones
fading, man.
I thought Carson Jones beat Antonio Margarito for sure.
Yeah, man. Can I say something?
So what? Kell Brook against Charlo? Is that what the plan is here, or what do you guys imagine is going to happen? Like,
he's back, baby. He's back.
He's back. He's back. He's back. I hear what you're saying. Charlo.
Mr. Doom and Gloom, no one has said that Kell Brook is going to be the fucking unified champion of the world. Or something like that. I'm just saying, he's got enough in it there. What I saw, even though he's against Khan, he's still got enough to beat a lot of guys. Because the division, 154 is trash. 147 is the Divas division. So there's not really a lot of great fighters in it. I mean, everyone talks about this 147 division being a great division. No, it's not. It's terrible. It's all right, it's got Crawford and Spence. Who else?
All right, well, can I just say something real quick? Because Jimmy wanted to say something, and then I gotta read a couple of super chats, and then we gotta go back to the phone lines. Jimmy, please go ahead, man.
I'll just make it quick. No, again, that's why I can't stress enough being an older guy. You think about, I'm just telling you, ex-fighters would tell them too. A lot of guys, because they're high, their adrenaline's pumping, they start telling themselves they can do things. I personally think unless he's financially has to, which I don't know anything about his finances, but if he doesn't have to financially fight anymore, it's not going to get any better than tonight. And that means a lot in the long run. You look back on your last fight and it was that type of victory at home, and that just could change. Just keep that. That's just good energy. I'm telling you, man, other than getting fucking sparked out in fucking Houston by one of the Charlos. I mean, I don't know. Unless he needs the money, I think he should ride off into the sunset. Again, that's just my opinion.
All right, excellent point there. But Stu, let me just read a couple of super because we got a lot to get to here. All right. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Book Trudeau versus Lemieux. Let's go truckers and LGB." Oh, I gotta tell you, with the fucking he enacted the actor, the emergency act. I don't know if I can badmouth the guy in public, but shout out to Chris K, aka Undercover Asian, for his contribution. Shout out to Kenshiro for his contribution. He says Kell chased Khan like the Yanks chased Bin Laden. Oh yeah, he did, man. He was like a dog going after a steak, and boy did he get his steak. All right, don't forget to hit the like, fellas, and thanks again for everybody for the super chats. Let's go to the phone lines here. Let's go to 215. You're on the air. 215. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing fantastic, man. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm going to talk on topic, but a little bit off topic.
Oh.
I'm for the fighters. The boxers.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you know that have a college education?
Very few.
Not many.
Mm-hmm.
And of all the professional sports, the fighters don't get their proper due. They don't have any retirement. They don't have any insurance like the other professional sports, like baseball, basketball, football. The promoters sweep them under the rug like crumbs and say next. And I think the promoters should be putting a little bit of the money that they earn toward a fund for all fighters based upon maybe rounds fought, some type of compensation, because they bring so much entertainment to us. When they step through the ropes, they put their life on the line. And the promoter's sitting outside the ring post counting his money before the fights even start. That's my take, and how does everybody else feel about it? I mean, I think it's wrong the way fighters have been treated since boxing began.
Caller, can I ask you something? Because you said this was all related to Kell Brook. Is it because we were talking about saying that maybe Brook should retire or that Kell should retire, or can you tie that in there?
No, I told you from the start I was going to talk off topic.
No, you said on and off topic.
I appreciate what I saw. Khan showed tremendous heart. His legs were wide at times. Your legs, that's where your power comes from. Your legs and your hips, and his legs were wide at times, and on the inside, he just didn't have it like he used to. But I do feel that the referee made a premature stoppage. He should have given him at least an 8 count, because he was in shape, just like Brook was, and he should have been given the benefit of the doubt and given a chance to continue. Even though, we're supposed to protect the fighter, safety is paramount, but I think he still had some gas in the tank, and he might have could have turned it around. Who knows?
You know what?
Didn't look like he was arguing, though. Right?
Say again?
Apparently, Amir Khan got paid 5 million pounds.
Oh,
yeah. So
it's a lot of pounds.
And I'm not too. I think they're a little hard on the promoters.
The way I look at it right now, Amir Khan, he made his money in the game. What 2% of the fighters make the big money, and he had a lot of big fights, and he might as well go ahead and retire and live his life. But I'm talking about the little guys, the club fighters.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Get their heads banged in.
Well, listen, caller,
what
the little guys.
compensation do they get? What do they got to fall back on? Compared
the little
to
guys,
the other professional sports, fighters do not get compensated for putting their life on the line when they step through the ropes.
There's two schools of thought on that, caller. There's two schools of thought on that. You're absolutely right on the money about the small club fighters. Those guys, they get paid $500 for a fight, and a lot of them put it all on the line. And like you said, they get no insurance, they get no compensation. It's $500, and boom, take care. Now with the
backbone of boxing, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's a good point too, Jimmy. But on the other hand, when you got guys like Devin Haney and Mikey Garcia getting paid way above what they deserve, there's extremes in boxing, and that's the negative side of it. That you got guys that aren't getting paid what they're worth, and then there's guys that are getting paid way above what they're worth. So it's a big mess, and it's above our pay grade to see how it's gonna get fixed. But anyway, listen, caller, we got to move on.
That's why I think they should have some type of mandate, nationwide, worldwide, that promoters have to put into a fund for these fighters.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, caller,
based upon the number of rounds fought, based upon the number of rounds they have fought. I mean, what else can you do on it?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a big question.
These guys are the entertainment, not the fucking promoter. Excuse my French.
No.
The promoter's just standing, like I said, outside the ring ropes, counting his money before the fights start.
You're absolutely right, caller. You're preaching.
What about when it's the promoter's Bob Arum and he loses millions of dollars on Crawford? Does anybody feel bad for him?
Bob Arum's worth $400 million. Yeah, he's lost a lot of money.
It's because he's willing to put up his money, guy. These promoters, you talk about them like they're the devil themselves, but without them, there wouldn't be a fight.
They ain't taking the punches. They ain't taking no punches.
He says he says they're not the ones. The promoters aren't the ones taking the punches, Jimmy.
Okay. So what happens if all the promoters left, and what would happen? Who would make the fight? Half these guys who can't even fill out a job application? What, are they going to fucking promote the fight? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the promoters are a necessary evil in some ways. Of course, they always get bashed, but I've seen what, young promoters, not just 3 promoters like what we see. There's promoters all over the country who put in blood, sweat, and tears and lose their life savings. So they just get a bad rap, like they're instantly in it, and everybody who gets promoted, thank you, dude. And it's their money.
It's like this. You get into boxing because you want to. It's your choice. If I'm a club fighter and then I go into the ring and I decided to do that, that's on me. If I know that I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me every time I stepped into the ring, that's my choice. So what do I do? What's best for me? Well, maybe I shouldn't step into the squared circle. I'll avoid myself the damage, and then maybe I can pursue another career, another job that pays better. Ultimately, it's your choice. It's free will.
And Bob Arum went into promoting because he loves boxing that much. People forget how talented of a dude he was. He was in top of his class. He was a Harvard graduate. He worked for the Department of Justice. He was a fucking up and coming lawyer. He would have made a fortune no matter what. But you know what? All right, that's enough on that. I just wanted to say I don't like the demonization of the promoters.
Can I say one? Let me say one thing. There's an old saying. I once saw a lawyer kill a snake in the dung heap by his stable. I laughed because it made me think of the tale of Cain and Abel.
Oh.
They're all snakes, man. Every last one of them.
Hallelujah. Well, listen, caller, you brought us some good points, man.
Enough said.
Well, it was a good point, though. I can see both sides of the issue, man. I agree with you. I think the little guys don't deserve to be dicked around. But at the same time, even though promoters, for the most part, are snakes, like you said, they're still in this. They're still putting up their hard-earned money, and it's a very difficult business to make money in. Just look at all the promoters that have come in here with big suitcases full of money, and they don't last even under 10 years. So. Listen, before we continue, guys, caller, good points, and call back next time, right, man? Really appreciate you calling in.
All right. Appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you, man. Take it easy.
Go fight.
Oh, shit. All right. Go ahead, Jimmy. You want to say something?
You're going to say go fuck someone.
No, he'll say go fighters.
Go fuck yourself.
No, he was going to say go fighters, I think.
No, because he changed. His tantrum changed from promoters to lawyers at the end. That Ben, the Abel. Fucking
he was comparing lawyers.
That was about lawyers and generals.
He was comparing lawyers to promoters. Yeah.
Sometimes if you're like a club fighter, because I've seen them, it's easier to go into the ring and catch a beating if you got a good chin, especially, than go work a 9 to 5. Some people, I'm not gonna say they enjoy it, but I'm just gonna collect a quick paycheck. They're gonna put me as an opponent. Pretty much, I know that I'm going to lose, but as long as I can survive, hey, that's better than going to work every day. Week in and week out.
It's not like they put in the same camps. They'll usually start camp a week out. A lot of those dudes. That's why they look like they're in that shape. I'm talking about the dudes on the Upside Down records who fight your guys when they first turn pro. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Right. I mean, hey, listen, man. It's there's two sides to the story, and most of the time I will side with the fighters when there's some fuckery going on. But like Jimmy said, yeah, but like you said, Jimmy, the promoters too, man. I mean, without promoters, there would be no fights. That doesn't give them the carte blanche to dick around or everybody, but it's a reality here in this sport. It's not as black and white as some people would like it to be. Let's go to another phone call here real quick. Let's go to... Oh, shit, what the... Oh, my goodness. Why is this happening? Sorry, 956, I hung up on you. It's been happening way too much. Call back, right, man? Call back.
He did it on purpose. He did it on purpose.
Now, you hold your horses there, mister. I did not do that on purpose. You come on.
Wasn't it 956 you hung up on yesterday too, or the day before?
No, come on, come on. But what was I gonna say here? I want to talk about the. I'm waiting for 956 to call back, so I'm buying time here. But don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to already. Rady in the chat says it's those Walmart and McDonald's workers that need a raise. Yeah, listen, I know this is in Second Renaissance, but this I like how when people say, "Oh, they denigrate people for working on McDonald's." I don't know if anybody's ever worked in the fast food industry, but man, that's a hard job, man. So when people denigrate it, it's what senators look down on McDonald's workers. Meanwhile, these senators are working; they're not working that hard, and they're stealing a whole bunch of money. So yeah, I said it, man. What do you want from me?
That was my first job being at McDonald's. I robbed it from the drive-thru with a paper bag over my head.
Mine too. That was one of my first jobs when I was a teenager, working in the fast food industry, and it builds character. I don't know what to tell people.
I try to pull
the bag boy.
I try to pull the cash. I try to pull the cash register out through the drive-through in my time off at the nighttime with the plastic bag with the paper bag over my head. I wasn't successful though.
Oh, come on. Yeah, you shouldn't be telling us. You told that story on Second Renaissance. I don't think you should tell it again here, man. But
that was like over 20 years ago, man.
Yeah, right.
25 years ago.
Hey, what was the story about the guy who bought a girl that you worked in there with flowers, and then she told you, man, that guy's a simp.
Well, Mr. BDA, hey,
Yes.
before you hang up to him, before we end the show tonight too, I want to talk. Did you see Linares lost again?
Oh yeah, that's what
knocked out
I
in
said. Yeah, I
Russia?
didn't. We're not gonna hang up yet.
Dude,
Yeah.
7 times, right? So he's lost 7 times, right? 6 by knockout. The only time he lost by a decision was to Haney. I'm just saying that doesn't bode well for his strength, his power, his punching power. When all around him, I mean, he's been getting knocked out second round, starched hard. I mean, that's 6 times. Just wanted to say that.
My goodness gracious! I mean, go ahead, Regan.
No, I was gonna say, I was talking about that earlier with Thunderdome, and I'm listening to him give the breakdown because I'm not watching the fight, right? And he's doing like the play-by-play, and then out of nowhere I hear, "Yeah, bro, he just broke down and got stopped," and I'm like, "Who you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, Linares." I'm like, "You got to be fucking shitting me." It just goes to show you that. Like Abdullahi's style, he doesn't have great knockout power, but he's a pressure fighter, and he's not too concerned to the point that it's going to stop him from doing what he wants to do, which is coming forward, putting pressure on you. Linares does hit hard, but he just kept the pressure and stopped him, man. And Linares was doing good, they said, in the fight. He was winning a lot.
He was.
Did Haney even hurt? I can't remember. I don't even think Haney even buzzed Linares. Did he even hurt him?
I think he got his attention a couple of times. I wouldn't say hurt him.
Yeah.
He overwhelmed them with the speed, and Haney hit hard enough where he kept them kind of like frozen. Like what I'm saying is, he couldn't get his shot off in time, so he kind of like not stunned them, but just kind of froze them in place a little too long with his activity, the quickness and the timing. Haney was landing and
Haney's not ready. Haney's not ready.
He couldn't retaliate, so he caught him.
So Haney looks bad now? He looks bad because of what happened today?
I mean, he was kind of like winning the fight, Bucho. From what I heard, they said that he was winning, but he fell apart in the 11th and the 12th round, where he got stopped in the last round.
Well, can I point something out that I think that the degradation from Linares was gradual. Facially, he was okay. It wasn't like the DeMarco fight where from one round to the next he looked like Jim Caviezel in Passion of the Christ. But he was getting hit more and more as the fight progressed. And then, here's the other thing, fellas. My goodness, I was watching it on ESPN Plus, and in the last round, whoops, there's a message. Technical difficulties. We'll be back. Technical difficulties. Then I'm reading the Discord against my better judgment, and people are saying, "Oh, Linares is stopped." I go, "What the fuck?" And ESPN Plus, more like ESPN minus. I mean, my goodness gracious. All right, but listen. Hey, by the way, Abdullayev, I'm showing the picture here. You guys can see it because I'm not sharing the screen, but he looks like he stepped out of a dumpster. I mean, this guy needs a shave, a haircut, and maybe a bath or two. But in regards to the fight, look, you got to give Haney credit for outboxing Linares. Because Linares, almost all of his losses have come by knockout. The only guy that ever outboxed him and stopped him was Lomachenko. So, but it's still a knock against Haney, the fact that he couldn't even wobble him or anything. And like other people have pointed out, the fact that he went after the fight to Linares is like, hey, do I hit hard? How hard do I hit? There was a hint of desperation in his voice. What do you guys think? Do you think Haney's a little bit self-conscious about his
a little bit of a self-conscious? There's a lot of self-consciousness, a bit of a fraud. There's a lot going on that needs to be fixed. I'll tell you right now. He's been figured out. Stick around. Get that boy in the last 4 rounds. Because the one thing that you got to understand, yes, your power, your zap and your power goes down. Mm-hmm. Okay? This is true as the fight goes down. But the fighter's ability to take a punch goes down too. So that equals still danger for the guy who can't punch and basically he's a little tired, he's a little zapped, and your zap power is going to feel more or less the same to him. It's science, basically.
Why are you laughing, man?
That's all it is.
No, it was just funny the way he dropped that at the end. But yeah, no, and I just listen.
He's laughing at you. Recognize?
Haney's got length. He's got a good jab. He's got a really good stick. You know what I mean? Probably one of the better ones. I think Stevenson has the best one in lightweight overall. No, he's got good hands, natural skills. He's a natural athlete. Is he a fighter in his heart? I don't know. I know that he was wobbled by Linares pretty good. He had to hold on. That's not to diminish his skill set. I still think, to like Bucho's point, he is a skilled fighter. It just makes me question his power even more, showing that Linares it wasn't just a couple of flukes that he got like cracked out in the second round, or he was knocked out 2 times in the last 2 fights before Linares, and then he gets knocked out again after him. After Haney. So sandwiched around that, it just looks like he maybe doesn't have the punching power that was first reported. But that's the case with most fighters.
Well, the thing about Haney is, man, he couldn't stop old ass Gamboa, who'd been stopped previously. And then he couldn't stop past his prime Linares, who'd been stopped every loss had been by stoppage. So the fact he couldn't stop those 2 guys, and then some people are saying now they're trying to make it out to be as if, well, he stopped Abdullayev, who's just stopped Linares, so he does have power, but he stopped him on a broken orbital bone, so he didn't wobble him, he didn't stun him. It's breaking someone's orbital is something that's common, but it's rare. For example, Pacquiao, one of the hardest punchers ever. He broke Margarito's orbital, but he didn't break Cotto's. He didn't break Marquez's or Barrera's, even though he hit them flush. How many times did he hit Diaz flush over at lightweight and didn't break his orbital? So breaking someone's orbital, you really got to hit him on the right spot. So when people point to that Haney Abdullayev win, and they go, yeah, but he broke his orbital. You see, he stopped him. He didn't. Did he drop? I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the fight. I don't know how he stopped him, or if the ref stopped the fight. Can anybody enlighten me on that one?
Well, I can say years from now, you're going to see that they're going to find out how much steroids had to play in a lot of this, because steroid gives the brittle bone disease. That's a known side effect of steroids.
Interesting, man. Interesting. That's an interesting point right there, man. Let's go to the phone lines here. Let's go to the phone lines. We got a call. 386. You're on the air. 386. What's on your mind?
What's up, fellas? How's the Saturday night going?
Oh, Action Jackson. How you doing, man? Thank you for calling in.
I'm good. I'm glad we're on the subject of Devin Haney because, Jimmy's right. He's a good boxer. He's mastered that kind of maybe a little less athletic, but a little more consistent than Mayweather as he uses that the jab, pumps the jab. He's got no power at all. If you were ever in there with Vasily Lomachenko, he might outbox. He might win a couple rounds off Loma, but Loma's going to get to him and fucking dog walk Haney. He just won't be able to keep him off. So I don't see Haney beating Lomachenko at all. I don't see it. That's a man and that's a boy right there. And out of all these guys, you talk about these young, I would just say African American fighters like Ennis, Haney, Shakur. Stevenson looks like he might be the best prospect, but Haney, he doesn't have that much power either, even though it's better than Haney's. But that lack of power, and Haney's at 135, so it's not like he's going to put on a lot more power as he moves up. So I don't know how good Haney can be, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you, Jackson. It's the power is definitely because the skills are there, but even against Jojo Diaz, for example, he was breaking through the guard at times, but even then, Jojo Diaz didn't really respect him that much, and he had Haney clinching in the last couple of rounds. So you can imagine what a guy like Lomachenko or even Tank Davis, another southpaw who hits like hell, would do to what's his name, Haney.
Yeah, I just got to say too, man. I heard a rumor, guys, that Lomachenko's camp, including the last one, but now that he's getting older, the father's really working on punching power. less of the brain shit, less of the bouncing balls off the square shit, and now they're really working on like hitting water bags, really digging into that. I just wanted to say, I guess that's what I was told. So,
yeah, the water bag's a good one because it mimics how the body reacts. You know, when you hit a water bag and you can hit it square, that's how your fist is gonna bounce back. Usually, when you hit the body, you know, because the body's made of water weight.
And I guess that's what they're going to focus on going forward. So,
yeah, interesting, man.
Yeah, I noticed that in Loma's fight against Nakatani. I mean, he was fucking him up, and against Comey, like when he dropped him with that short, what was it, a left hook? I mean, it's so Mike Tyson, like a lightweight Mike Tyson-esque. How he just, I mean, he's standing there in the pocket, just slipping every second. The guy's his thought process is super quick, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. Yeah. And I wish he would have stopped Comey, but yeah, like, I mean, him, Usyk, you know, Roman Gonzalez, they're probably the best fighters in the world. Like, there's just guys that they're not on. Nobody's on Usyk or Loma's level. Those guys are just like light years ahead of the game.
Well, you know what it is, man. It's the usual suspects, Jackson. Well, you know, what do you want to... You know, you can convince them.
We know who they are, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Jackson, if you even look at the last few fights, just break it down, watch it in slow-mo. He's literally turning his punches over more. That's what he's doing. It's subtle, but there is a difference in his power punches. He's turning them over a little bit harder, and and if you look at his back, too, his traps seem to be getting better. They're working more on his back muscles.
Oh, yeah.
So that tells you he wants to be able to take shots better. When you see somebody working, get their traps bigger, that's because you want to toughen up your neck so you can take, you know, bombs.
Yeah, I think, Jimmy, I brought that up to you one of the last times I called it because I know I wasn't implying like steroids or anything. I was saying it was because we were always talking about like him going up to 140 and how he would do it. I brought up his neck and implying that he's got the shock absorber to take punches from maybe a Josh Taylor or, you know, a bigger man. And I think he would be able to handle, you know, a Regis Prograis or... You know,
you would just have to work so hard, bro. But the size discrepancy would be so large at that jump. It would have to work so much harder. It just, you know what I mean? I think he's already stretched it. He really should be at 130 tops, but he's stretching it because nobody will fight him down there. Not that they're knocking his door down here, but yeah, I agree, man. He's a special talent.
Well, listen, Jackson, we got to move on to other calls, but thank you for calling in and call back next time, right, man? Don't be a stranger.
Okay, you guys have a good one, all right?
All right, take it easy, man. All right, man. Yeah, man. We're on the subject of Haney right now, Devin Haney and Lomachenko, and Kambosos too. At some point, I suspect he's going to come up in this conversation. Let's go to 480. You're on the air, 480. What's on your mind? Hey, 480, you got background noise, man. 480, you got some background noise. Please go into a secluded place because otherwise we can't hear you. Are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, is this Rare Breed?
Rare Breed got a short. Rare Breed got a short.
My bad.
Sound like you go to the drive-through.
I was at the drive-through. My fault. But I wanted to.
That's what I said.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Sorry. I wanted to respond to something that Stewie said about he feels like Kell Brook obviously can't beat Spence or Crawford, but he would be competitive against everybody else. Is that what he said?
I think that's what he implied, yeah.
Okay.
He could be.
Come on, now. Do you really think... No, you think he could compete with a Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis?
Okay.
That might be out of his league at this point. That might be out of his league at this point. But, like, let's say Danny Garcia, maybe Keith Thurman.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
At 154.
Okay. Oh, at 154.
I mean,
Virgil Ortiz plants him in 3 rounds.
I wouldn't totally discard him being competitive against Virgil Ortiz or Conor Ben or somebody like that, or even maybe a Boots Ennis. The reason why I wouldn't rule that out is because, remember, he's got a lot more experience than those dudes do, you know? So, even though I would pick them to probably beat him.
But you saw his punch resistance is not there anymore.
Right. That's why I say they beat him. That's why I would go with them. But veterans got little slick tactics. So who knows?
Well, let me ask Rare Breed.
Virgil Ortiz would take him out in 4.
Let me ask Rare Breed, because Rare Breed, Kell Brook, especially at 147, when he would be drained, you put him in there against Virgil Ortiz or against your guy, Jaron Ennis, I don't think he makes it past the 4th round, man. I think he gets wrecked in there.
Yeah, he probably gets.
But at 154, a little bit more. Yeah, but at 154, a little more hydrated, I think he stands to give competitive fights. Maybe not beat the best, but at least give him competitive fights. So who would you like to see Kell Brook next in with? If you were his manager, let's say, or his promoter?
I guess Conor Ben. But, no, I want to see Conor Ben step up and fight some live bodies. So, Danny Garcia.
At 154, right?
Yes.
And who would you pick in that one?
That's the fight at 154.
Yeah, who would you pick in that one?
I'd say 60-40 for Danny Garcia. Maybe more, 70-30 for Danny Garcia.
Yeah, that sounds about right, man. Listen, we got other callers, but anything else you want to say before we move on?
No, that was basically it. I thought I was going crazy when he said that he would beat everybody else other than Spence Crawford.
Yeah, I'm with you, but all right. Well, listen, Gregory, thank you for calling in, and call back next time, right, man?
All right.
All right, take it easy. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We've got, let's go to 917. You're on the air, 917. What's on your mind?
New York.
Yo, real talk. If Devin Haney step up, he gonna get his teeth knocked out.
And
that's word. That's my word.
No, come on. No, but I mean, against when he steps up, it depends against who, right? I mean, against whom, rather.
Against anybody that's better than that whack little JoJo boy, that little small boy that almost beat his ass up.
No, come on. No, but I mean, who would you pick Haney to beat at 135? So the top names
to beat.
Yeah.
Probably. Let's see.
Oh, he's got to think about it.
Out of the top. It's really hard to tell because they don't fight each other. So maybe Ryan Garcia.
That's it? He can't beat Tank Davis? You don't give him a shot against that guy or against Kambosos?
Well, we don't know how good Tank is because everyone he fights, it's tailored to, suit him. We got to see him against people that are ready to kill him, not there to be beat up.
All right. Well, listen, caller, it sounds like you're in a daycare center right now, so it's a little hard to hear you. But anything else you want to say before we move on?
Nah, that's it.
All right. Take it easy, man. Thank you for your call.
So what's the weather like in New York, man?
All right. Take it easy, man. Yeah, there was too much background noise in there. I couldn't really hear him. And
hey, you work for the phone company?
He got that Rikers Island accent.
Well, I don't know what that is, but
for sure.
Sounds like he figured out to deliver the hooch out there. Hooch sounded wasted, man.
I didn't want to say anything, Jimmy, but yeah, he sounded like he'd been a little bit too much of the ganja in there, man.
Like he just took a bong hit. Yeah.
But good for him. It's Saturday night, man. What's he supposed to do? You know what I mean? You're not supposed to stress out on a Saturday night. You're supposed to kick back, chill out, smoke a little, a little bit of the ganja and see what happens. Hey, by the way, going back to the Haney.
Hey, I ain't passing judgment.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, speaking of how much bud you smoke.
Speaking of ganja.
Yeah, I know.
I heard. Speaking of ganja, he took a big old puff, man. Come on.
I'll be right back.
Like that homeless guy said, sometimes I take a puff, how do you say? Sometimes I take a puff, sometimes I take a blast, motherfucker. All right, let's, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so the Devin, there's another phone call here. Hold on a second. Let's go to 678. You're on the air, 678. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Soothsayer. So, to cut in from the Haney subject, man, why is everybody so against Pitbull Cruz, man? He's coming up. He's about to face Gamboa. Nobody puts respect on Pitbull Cruz, man. He's got a devastating Mexican style. He doesn't speak English. I mean, what the fuck, man? The way he fought Gervonta, what? Come on, let's boost him
Beat
up.
Gervonta. In my opinion, he beat him. I had him winning that fight.
He deserves just as much an opportunity as all the other guys. You want to say all the other guys are hype jobs, and you want to say Pitbull Cruz is also a hype job? Okay, that's okay. So at least give them the same opportunity as those guys, right? Don't make out the other guys. Yeah, don't make the other guys. Don't make the other guys believe. Don't make the other guys seem like they are more than what they are. If you do, make it all across the board. Don't say those guys are better than him. If they all suck, they all suck. If they're all good, they're all good. Until one proves himself like he's doing better than the others.
That's well said, man. Go ahead.
I was gonna give him a shot.
All right,
give him a shot against top fighters, man. I do.
Well, let's go to Soothsayer, see what else he has to say. Yeah, Soothsayer, what do you think about that?
No, it's just, I mean, come on, man. BDA, when we want a Mexican fighter, right? Oh, we cry and, oh, we want a real Mexican. Barrios ain't the Mexican. Come on, man.
Well, look, Isaac
Carl,
Cruz.
but let me ask you, how do you how do you feel about him turning down the Ryan Garcia fight? I'm not saying it was him personally, but he let his people do it.
Did he really, though, Jimmy? Did he really?
That absolutely happened. No, absolutely.
Pitbull
yes.
himself
First
said, I don't want to fight Ryan. I don't want to fight him.
No. What happened? What I guess happened right away, his original manager, like everybody has original managers we talk about, he said yes, according to the guy at Oscar's guy, who doesn't lie. He's not going to lie about it. He said, yeah, their people were very interested. So props for Cruz. I'm not shitting on the kid. It was the higher-ups, Mayweather and Heyman, probably under threat that you don't fight on the PBC again if you take that fight. And you notice they've rewarded his ass. He's the co-main on this pay-per-view. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so because they did not want, they didn't want Ryan to beat him because if he made Tank look, yes. It wasn't Cruz, no. It was the PBC because they didn't want the optics.
I get it for sure. But
all right.
Cruz will fight anybody. He would do it.
Well,
and he's only 23 or 24, so I think he's younger than that. So he deserves, like I said, the same opportunity as those other guys. Some of those guys are even getting older.
And he did good. He blocked all those punches on the inside, man. He did. I actually watched that fight again.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit. I have a little bit different opinion. I think Tank is a little bit of a hype job, but I think Isaac Cruz is better than a lot of people think.
That was virgin defense, man. It was tight.
He drank from the poisonous tree now, though.
All right, you sound like that. You sound like the previous caller who was. You sound like that previous caller that was talking about the snakes and Abel and Cain and Abel. Listen, Soothsayer, Isaac Cruz, though, you gotta give Soothsayer. You gotta admit that Gamboa fight is trash, man. He should be fighting somebody better than Gamboa. Soothsayer, are you still there? 678, rather. Going once, going twice. 678. You're still there, man. Go ahead. No, actually, he's not. All right. Well, listen, 678. I'm gonna let you go. Call back next time, all right, man? Or call back in a couple of minutes if you fix your phone line. All right, take it easy. Sorry about that.
I like Pitbull's Cruz composure inside the pocket. He moved his head on a swivel when he needed to, and he held his ground when he needed to as well. Mm-hmm. When Tank Davis was trying to line him up with the left hand, dude, he was sticking out the lead hand as the flagpole to measure him. Man, he knew that you don't do that shit in the elite level, man. He's proven that some qualities that he's mature enough at his young age that he's not a hype job, obviously, because he's not getting hit with those punches that Tank Davis was hitting other fighters with, lining you up with the lead hand and throwing that left hook.
All right, Gonzalo, let me ask you, though, because I have to ask you, do you think this is going to help his career fighting Gamboa? Do you think it's going to make him better, or do you think it's going to make him look better? Because if you go on Twitter, the fans are just crucifying him for it because he's better than that. This was a reward. That's all it was. We're going to hand feed you somebody who's fucking a knockout waiting to happen at 40 years old and put you on as a co-main. by turning down the Garcia fight. So the whole thing is just sucks to me. You know what I mean? Should just let the kid fight against Garcia. That's a fight I think everybody would have been pumped for, right? But again, it gets ripped from us over some bullshit.
Well, listen, I want to say, first of all, shout out to Norman Louis for his contribution with the super chat. He didn't leave a message, but shout out to Norman. Later on, Norman Louis did say, what you got recognize Arrow, A-R-O. I think he's talking about a specific type of ganja, or maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
I don't know. But shout out to Norman Louis. And shout out to Rider of the Storm for his contribution with the super chat. He says 99% of the people didn't even know who Cruz was. Yeah, that's the other thing, though. But there's two ways of looking at it. One, yeah, he wasn't a known commodity, but there have been people like I said, Jose Luis Castillo. Nobody really knew who he was in 1999, and then he steps in there against C.V. Johnson, who was and remains an underrated fighter, and he beat him twice. Of course, there were close fights, but he still, proved that he remained there. So it's difficult to judge sometimes. We'll see what happens with Cruz. It might end up being one of Davis's best wins if Cruz continues to.
Answer my question, guys.
He was 20. How old is Cruz, by the way?
23.
So I mean, you're not known. Sometimes you're not known until you are. And you're young, so obviously you gotta. There's a moment where you're not gonna be known, but all of a sudden you are, because he's not getting discovered when he's 25, 20. He's getting discovered at a young age, like every fighter usually does. At some point in time, you have to. He had fought Magdaleno and he had fought Bandido Vargas. So obviously he is at the right age where he got discovered on time. It wasn't late. It wasn't before. It was when it needed to happen.
Oh man, I'm cynical, but the dude was discovered to get knocked out. They handpicked him to get knocked out, but
that's how it happens.
You know what I mean?
That's how it happened.
But I think it was. I think it was just as much because Davis has no clue on how to fight backwards. I mean, put it this way: what do you think that kid does against Lomachenko or anybody else? Shakur Stevenson.
I think he loses right now. Yeah, he definitely loses. But he did some good shit in that ring that made Tank, in my opinion, lose the fight. There was some good stuff he was doing. Tank wasn't landing those punches on the inside. He wasn't, and that's because Cruz had his head position right and he had his glove in the right place. So I'll give him that.
If the media promotes you and they're the one that feed you to the public, like we're saying, like a fighter that they're bringing up, and all of a sudden they say, "Oh, you're supposed to fight this guy because he's the next heir apparent." I don't like those guys really. I like a guy that comes out of nowhere, like Pacquiao, when he fought Leduaba, because they're not trying to feed him to us. He's getting discovered because maybe he wasn't brought up as the A side, but his talent inside the ring, besides
Gonzalo, that's 100% right. You see, those fighters, when they break through, they end up turning out to be just special, like a Pacquiao. The reason why I'm not trying to say Isaac Cruz is, but people got to think to themselves, Isaac Cruz is he's probably just as good as Tank. Now maybe they fight in a rematch and he knocks him out. Maybe Tank knocks him out, but in that one fight, he proved to be at least as good as Tank, and he can hang in there. And in a lot of people's opinion, won the fight. Including
that's what's going to happen. There is going to be a rematch. You're 100% right. I'll bet my page on it. I'll ghost my Twitter page after he destroys Gamboa and Davis knocks out fucking Special Boy. They're going to fucking rematch because again, whatever it takes to keep that dude on a fringe. You know what I mean? Because he's the glory snatching fucking distraction is really what he is.
Yeah, maybe you're the ugly duckling, and people don't want to promote you like the next Ryan Garcia, or maybe you're like a Devin Haney, where Joe Cortez was attending his fights ever since the amateurs, calling him the next Mayweather. I don't know. This is going back more than 5, 6, 7 years ago. I mean, they're projecting some of these fighters like they're guaranteed to be the next one, the next big thing, and that you don't know that until they take that step up fight.
Yeah. They're frauds. Proven otherwise.
No, I hear you, but maybe some sometimes he just kind of, I don't know, man. I just saw a very one-dimensional fighter who didn't change speeds, didn't change much. He just fought one style, came forward, and I've seen him fight in the past too. He didn't look good when I saw him fight in the past either. So I just don't see this kid. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing something that you guys are seeing. Not you guys, but
it could be a height thing. It could be a lot of stuff. It could be, man. I'm used to being the shorter guy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is. He's only like 5'2", right? 5'3".
Yeah, no, I'm saying maybe for Tank.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's probably what it is. Oh yeah, for Tank punching down, he's probably never used to that.
Because some people point out that Tank Davis hurt his hand at some point in the fight, or that he actually exacerbated the injury. But even before the injury, the so-called injury, he was clinching a lot, and he didn't fight all that much differently than in other fights. His punch rate was low. He was relying on his accuracy and power to overcompensate for his lack of activity. So the pacing was the same. It was the same old Tank Davis, except like you guys pointed out, the tighter Cruz was doing a good job of blocking shots. So remains to be seen what happens. And like Jimmy said, now that he pointed out the rematch thing, yeah, that sounds like a perfect Floyd Mayweather PBC strategy for him. But hold on, Gonzalo, can I just...
Yeah, sure.
Well, let me just go to the phone lines real quick. We got a phone call here from 731. 731, you're on the air. 731, what's on your mind?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, indeed.
All right. I just wanted to say this about the Isaac Cruz fight.
Mm-hmm.
So before the fight against Tank, I had saw one of his. I think the fight before this, 2 fights before. I can't really remember. But when they was promoting this fight as Isaac Cruz being a threat to him, I remember a lot of people saying like, "Nah, this is just a cherry pick." And I remember watching that fight before he fought Tank, and I was thinking to myself, this guy can really give Tank a lot of problems because of his come forward style. And this kid is actually relentless. And the power, we know Tank has power, but Tank's power was not affecting this kid at all. And I think that that's the reason why Tank shut down the possibility of it being a rematch at first, because he realized that he couldn't really hurt this kid. This kid constantly came forward no matter what Tank threw at him.
Yeah. And you know what? It's interesting you mentioned that, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the fight previous to Haney, to Tank Davis, was against Francisco Vargas. And there was another fight that I saw from him. I think it was a showbox fight. He fought another undefeated
showbox fight.
Yeah, and the other guy hurt him at one point in the fight, but for the most part, Cruz was in control. So, yeah, if you saw those fights, you saw that the guy had talent, but... Yeah, I guess for most people, caller, it was the fact that he hadn't beaten anybody of note, and that's what they lowered their expectations. But what do you think is next for Haney? For Davis, do you think so? You don't think he gives Cruz a rematch?
Nah, I think he gonna fight Romero and send him to hell in that fight, and he gonna go on. Personally, I don't think he gonna give Isaac Cruz no rematch. The only way he will is if it's something that they see that the fans are really paid for. That's what I really think. Because he realized in that last fight that, man, well, maybe he may, if this could be a fight that they could actually sell, but they got to make it seem like the first fight was actually a threat to Tank, because they tried to play it off like this was no competition. That's why Tank said this fight did not deserve a rematch. Because he tried to make it look like it wasn't any competition.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
They have to sell it.
Oh, go ahead, Jimmy. Jimmy.
Well, I think I was going to say, but you guys say Floyd says that, definitely Ellaby, dude's kind of a gas bag. He fucking says that about everybody is a threat. This is a big threat for him. You know what I mean? He sells the dream, but it's not working anymore. It didn't even sell 40,000 pay-per-views. They only paid that kid $300,000. You know what I mean? So I don't even, what's a successful pay-per-view? The 60 next time? You know what I'm saying? So they don't have any money to pay these guys, so they're hoping, but you know what? They matched them soft. And when you got the LDBC making videos saying don't buy the grift, they're ripping us off. When you start getting them against you, it's, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but.
I think what the caller was saying, that the only way he could see Tank taking that fight if somehow they build that fight up, and then fans actually call for it. Now that there's some history, now that people know that there's like a controversial decision. So even though Gamboa was
Guys, will you buy it?
Well, let's get back to hold on, because we got to get back to the.
I know. Just
guys, we got to get back to the.
I'll give you an example. Devin Haney. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we got to get back to the caller. Let him finish his thoughts, and then we'll get back to this. But caller, anything else you want to mention before we move on?
Well, I was just saying that I don't think it'd be a rematch unless they can make it seem like this fight was the decision was controversial. They have to make it look like that. You know, that'll sell people to fight, to where it'll seem like Tank was actually vulnerable in the fight. You know, even though they always try to make it seem like that he's the big guy, so they have to make it seem like that Cruz was that dangerous of an opponent. That's the only way I see it happening again.
Right.
Because, you know, they have the money. So that's really what it is.
Yeah, you're right, man.
That's all I have to say.
All right, well, good call, and call back next time.
I agree with him. I agree with him. It's all about selling.
Guys, finish your point.
But hold on. Let me
I was going to say. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, caller, for calling in, and call back next time. Go ahead, Regis. Yes.
No, I didn't mean to cut off the call.
Yeah, sorry, BJ.
I was going to say. I agree with a lot with what that caller said. Look, boxing promotion is about deception, preception. Is about all that shit, man. It really is. So if you can, let's say Pitbull goes in there and fucking knocks Gamboa out, even though Gamboa is washed up, but you know he knocks him out, like he puts him to sleep, and then you got Tank fighting Rolly. And they say Tank has a hard fight with Rolly, but he wins. You know, there could be like you can sell that fight. You could say Pitbull, who knocked out Gamboa faster than Tank Davis, and the last time they fought, it was some bullshit like that. So
I'm sure they'll spin it.
They can spin it where they'll be happy if they do 20,000 buys. If they can get 20,000 more buys, they'll be happy.
I think so, man.
I see two things that Pitbull has, two intangibles that will get him far in the game. He can improve on others. He's got speed and he's got a good chin. He showed enough boxing IQ to tell me at his young age that he could definitely improve on that because he didn't make no glaring mistakes. On the other hand, Tank Davis, he tied up a little too much, whether his hand was hurt or not. Tank Davis is a fighter that punches hard with both hands. So that tells me Tank Davis was a little nervous to exchange with the shorter man, which can also be not a good thing. But at the same time, a shorter man on the inside, if he throws a lot of volume, his punches are going to get there in between your shots. Yeah. So I'm saying, he's a good fighter.
He's a good fighter, yeah. Tank Davis is a good fighter, but like Jimmy has said numerous times, it's the way he's been matched recently. It's not helping him out. It's not allowing him to develop properly.
Tank Davis is a good. Pitbull is a good fighter.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about. Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about Davis. Let's go to another call here.
I don't think the fight's gonna happen. But go ahead. Well, that's what I want to say too. I don't think it's going to.
No, BDA.
Hold on, because the phone lines are about to close here, so I gotta get to this caller. 205, you're on the air. 205, what's on your mind? Caller. Oh shit, sorry. 205, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
What's up, BDA? What's going on, family?
Oh, it's Uncle Charles.
Uncle Charles. What up, Charles?
Man,
Uncle Chuck.
What's going on, man? It's a blessing to hear y'all brothers on here. But I watched the fight, man. I watched the Amir and Kell Brook fight. Let me tell you something, man. I watched a better fight down there. I saw two crackheads fighting outside the tank store yesterday.
Come on.
And they was fighting over a piece of crack. One knocked the other crackhead out, and the crack went out in the street, and his ass got ran over. Now, if they would have been able to work together, they'd have been able to smoke together. Let me just say this, man. I am sick and tired of these boring fights. I'm sick and tired of these boring fights. And I'm going to just say this for the record. Pitbull really did beat Tank. I'm sorry. I thought he won the fight. I thought he got his Tank ass, and Tank don't want no more of that. I don't think Tank don't want no more of that. And if I was Tank, I would leave him alone. He would stand a better chance fighting Rolly. Now, you know Rolly a damn fool. It's 90 degrees. He got on a mink coat. You know this fool is crazy. He either crazy or he's smoking or something. But I will just say this, man. Just look at the true meaning of the game of boxing today. I mean, really. Let's just say this, man. If you're a boxer, a professional boxer, and you're well known, you should be able to have a team in place to tell you, hey, man, I don't think you're not doing the right thing. And this person that's telling them right should be able to get fired from their job. Deontay Wilder, he was on TV down here, and I think he did some kind of interview or something. Man, would you just stop? Okay, that just shows y'all. It don't make no damn difference. You got a whole lot of money. Some people still ain't happy. Man, you got all this money. You got a pretty wife. You got a good family. But see, that ain't good enough for you. And what you did wrong, what he did wrong, is what he did to Mark Breland. You let JD look like he don't smoke the whole bag of crystal milk. Stay right there with you, and you fired the brother. I said that's not good. That's not good what you did. And see what happened? See what happened? He went to sleep 3 times. And that's what your ass get. I'm sick of these fighters not having nobody around them to say, hey, man, you ain't running enough. Hey, man, you're not eating right. Hey, man, you need to leave them women alone. Now, they don't rob your ass one time. Now you finna give them some more money? Somebody needs to tell you something right. And we ain't getting that in boxing. This is why the UFC is able to slide up in there and do what they do. This is why they got a platform, a bigger platform. I am sick of these guys that want to fight each other. Now, I'll just say this. If you want to watch a real fight, come on down here to Birmingham, Alabama, and you can watch 2 winos go at it. And that's all I got to say. And I love y'all, bro.
All right, Uncle Charles, on fire as always, man. Jeez Louise, I mean, how does he get so much energy? All right, take it easy, Uncle Charles. Thank you for calling in, man. Always appreciate you calling in. All right, man. He's on fire, man. I don't know what they should just, if anybody ever gets lost in the woods or something and they're out of matches or kerosene or whatever, just bring Uncle Charles with you, man. He'll set the place on fire. He'll set it ablaze.
Imagine him popping out of the woods out of nowhere.
Well, man, shout out to Uncle Charles. And by the way, the phone lines are now closed. The 2-hour limit they're closed. They're ended. And shout out to the Can Man also for his contribution with the super chat. He says Special K was doing work that. What do you say? Special K was doing work that whole fight. Yeah, man, he was working hard to get Can out of there, man. And he laid a beating on the guy. Shout out to the Can Man.
No study on that one, man.
Was that right?
Isn't that the name of like some cornflakes Special K, the ones with the red K on it?
I think it's it's cornflakes, or is it all brand?
Yeah, them chocolate brownies, man. Them chocolate brownies.
And can I honestly say too, right, to make it seem like I'm not crapping so hard on Cruz, one of the things, dude, listen, when he was still a free agent after that, he could have just took that Garcia fight. Who knows, maybe even got signed with Golden Boy. But the fact that he chose to go the PBC
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
He just, now his career, we just know what's going to happen now. He's either going to be used like Barrios to prop somebody up. If he destroys Gamboa, Recognize might be right. He might actually be to the point where they might not even want to test Tank. So, good point, Recognize. But I looked away Heyman for the most part. He doesn't promote and treat his Mexican fighters the same. That's just how it is.
I agree with that.
But he's with Pacquiao. He's with Sean Gibbons. He's, Jamie, I know where that's coming from. Like, I think you said it before, and I kind of agree, but I'm not going to put all my stock in the fact that Cruz didn't get like 5 knockouts out of his last 6 fights prior to the Tank Davis fight. Because I know that a lot of the times you're thinking, well, he's not going to be that good because he had that spell where he didn't KO his opponents prior to the Magdaleno fight, right?
Yeah, maybe I just, when I saw him on Showbox, I just wasn't impressed that night. I thought the competition wasn't, nothing great, and I just think he's kind of one-dimensional. I just think a very talented kid could pick him apart. Somebody come in that kind of crab defense, but who's to say? He might try to change things up. I don't know. I mean, he fights in that. That's kind of a regional thing to Mexico, down in that area. Those guys all fight like that. It's like the Philly of Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not. He's involved in the sense that he's still young, and he's not necessarily just going in there and exchanging shots. He's got a good guard. And right now, they're picking up those those fighters in Mexico that show some promise, and they're breaking them away from that style that all you gotta do is catch punches and go to war. No, we're gonna improve you. We're gonna make you into a more polished toe-to-toe fighter, and they can certainly do that with him, right? Because the information is out there. It's not like in the era before before these fighters came out, from like TJ where I'm from. They were kind of blind to a lot of like how the boxing was going to evolve. No, they discovered that they're tough on the inside, but now we can get the ones that show more promise and polish them and make them better. It's not like we're just going to pitch you in against anybody for these low paydays. No, we can actually make you and to turn you into a little better of a fighter. That's what I see with Cruz.
But here's another problem as far as I'm concerned with Cruz. His style is the one that usually gets affected the worst when they don't fight a lot. That type of style, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's why
he's going to fight. He's going to fight twice. He's going to fight twice a year at most. Now with the PBC, so I think we've seen the best of Cruz. He's not going to get any better. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And I don't think he's going to get any better fighting twice a year. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and I think Mr. BDA misunderstood me when I was talking about Pitbull Cruz. I said that Tank Davis punches hard with both hands. And the fact that he said his hand got hurt, but that he couldn't take out Davis. So what happened with the other hand? That was kind of giving credit to Cruz. But at the same time, Davis too, because he punches hard. But, my hand was hurt. I couldn't knock him out. Well, where's your other hand?
In his hand was injury. I mean, every fighter hurts the hand in a boxing match, one way or another. Like, he had swelling, but he didn't break his hand. You know what I mean? So,
it was probably tender because Ford, his trainer, said that he had, or Ellerby, that he got hurt in training. But clearly, you saw when Pitbull Cruz was shelling up, how he used his elbow to tuck his to block his rib cage, and Davis hit him on the
punched the elbow. Oh, did he? Yeah, that's the hardest bone in your body. That's why they outlawed it in the UFC. Yeah, that's the bone on your elbow there. It's freaking brutal. That's why a lot of people stay away from body punches because they've hurt their hand at some point. Sparring, they've punched somebody's freaking elbow and it sucks.
Well, guys, I gotta tell you, man, the Munguia card just started, and a lot of people are more excited about the undercard than the actual main event because they got William Cepeda, whom a lot of people have been talking about on the come up as a lightweight, I believe, and a lot of people believe that he can cause a lot of trouble in an already packed division. And then on top of that, Munguia, like we talked about on Friday, almost fainted, so he might be weakened against a fighter that otherwise wouldn't pose that much trouble. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up, but before I do that, hey, shout out to Recognize, Jimmy, Gonzalo, Stu dropped by as well, and King Bucho, so shout out to those guys. Hey, shout out to everybody that called in also, by the way, and everybody that donated via the super chat. Really appreciate it, fellas. Thank you all for keeping us afloat here. And for
Mr. BDA, can I ask one question real quick? Somebody, they'll kill me. They DM me, ask me to ask the panel. Real quick, guys. Who do you think is the hottest punching welterweight right now? Just fire it out there, off the top of your head.
Thurman.
No, seriously.
Hottest punching. Punch for punch. What's his name? The new guy, Boots Ennis.
Okay. Recognize?
Hey, Jimmy, I was being serious about Thurman, man, because they asked Andy Garcia who hits harder, Spencer or Thurman. He said Thurman. The way he rattled Garcia in those early rounds. It's just, I think the problem with Thurman is the way he delivers, or doesn't deliver, rather, the power.
He gets a lot of momentum. When he's moving side to side, I'm saying he gets a lot of power.
And so you're serious when you want to go with Thurman? I thought you were just busting stones, but yeah, no, he could crack. I just, for me, it's Ortiz. Somebody asked me to ask that, and I feel terrible that I waited to the last minute like that. Sorry to cut you off, to BDA.
You should feel terrible. Shame on you. Where's my son?
He asked me twice, and I didn't ask last time, and he asked me again.
Well, listen, you know what? That's an excellent subject for another episode. I think we could build around that. So don't forget to remind me that we should get back to that, because that's a very interesting question right there, and it fits right into this show, man. It fits right in with the show here. So shout out to you.
I just say it's Ortiz. Myself, Victor Ortiz. That's who I say.
You know what? I would disagree with you, man. but we're gonna have to though in the next round, just for
There we
entertainment
go.
purposes. So shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to everybody that donated. Go ahead, Gonzalo. You gonna say something?
No, well, he does have all knockouts. That I was going to say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, recognize. Are you there? Before we leave, maybe just get recognized the steak. No, he's probably lifting weights or something.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Again, shout out to everybody that donated the super chat. Everybody that don't forget to like and subscribe. Check us out on Spreaker, iTunes, and Spotify. You can check the episodes there at your leisure. And that's about it. We'll be back soon. Let us know in the comment section which type of videos you'd like us to do, especially with the assessing fighter series about where we analyze a fighter and look at how good he is. So. Don't be shy about that. Let us know what you think about that. And that's about it, fellas. Enjoy the fights. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.
Peace.